points on that nature check.
And she will, as I'm waiting for Lathamir, she'll kind of, I believe so. She nods, wipes away a singular tear, which you can see appears to be more, almost like sap, like pine tar. She kind of wipes away. That's part of the darkness that encroaches upon this land. That is spread here. The Earth Mother was
18, by the way. Sorry.
For so long. She leans forward and just runs her fingers along the bark of the tree. But now that the sacred place has been lost, given over to the destroyer, she cannot hold it anymore.
Which sacred place? Are you referring to one of the Moon Wells? Or to the shrine that is nearby?
She'd look up, and I believe that I've never referred to it as a moon well by myself. It is a wellspring of power for the deities that called this place home. And you claim that she kind of gestures vaguely in the direction. She just kind of points back towards the southeast to where you guys would know the Toriage Wood Moonwell would be.
This is what the druid spoke about yesterday. Due to the Hortians deity gaining control of the Moonwell here, or as she said, the spring, that it eats the life from the land. I see that now that this is what he was speaking about. Is there a way for us to save you? Is there a way for us to transfer your soul to another tree?
She just kind of looks down. I do not know. I've never tried. Perhaps she moves forward. And with your nature check, Mr.
18.
18, you would see that kind of nestled into the roots of the trees. You're kind of looking around. You can tell that the decay that eats at this place is definitely not natural or native to the area, right? Especially given where you're from, you don't recognize this sort of blight fungus that has eaten away at some of the fauna here, flora. Kind of look about and see that there is like this faint seed nestled in the bottom of the tree, almost in the roots.
Can I use my herbalism kit to try to collect it without damaging it?
I can. Give me a... Call that another nature check.
Sure.
I give him guidance on it.
Can anyone... I have some skill in nature. I can assist you, if you would like.
If you're willing to, sure. So what would that mean? Would that make it advantage?
Make it advantage, and I believe Miss Chipper is giving you guidance.
Wow. I appreciated the sentiment. 16.
What was it, Eric?
I was actually going to ask Lethamir if he'd keep his eyes open on just a general lookout, just in case.
Well, Lethamir is doing this. Chipper should... Chipper, keep a lookout, please.
I will indeed be keeping a lookout.
As you guys make your way up, back
Once I've collected the seed, I would bring it to her to show her and say, well, I mean, we collected a seed from your tree. If there is a possibility of you being reborn into the sapling that grows from this, then it would be a pleasure to meet you again. Or is there a way? I don't believe you can stray too far from here, if I'm correct.
She would nod. And she would look down at the seed in your hand, Lathamir, kind of lean forward. Plant me somewhere where the mother can find me. Yes.
Understood.
Would it be... Go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, would it be crazy if I walked up and attempted to spare the dying on the tree?
Roll me a d20.
A D20? Alrighty.
Yes, yeah, speaking of like there being a soul in it, that could work.
That'll be an 11.
You watch as you walk up and you cast Spare the Dying on the tree. A little bit of like color pigment returns to both the bark, to the fungal growth on it, to the roots, and to the dryad. She kind of perks up a little bit. You can see a little bit of the grays and muted tones that seeped through her body return to greens and vibrant oranges, reds. Still in like a phase of fall as she looks up at you and smiles. Thank you.
I look
He
at
owned.
her and say, I don't know how long it'll last or if it'll take any effect, but this is what I can do for you.
And she see that she kind of reaches up into the hollow of this tree. Allow me to reward your kindness and to reward your vacation. She reaches in, and you'd watch as she would withdraw from the hollow of this tree a singular, almost looks like a crystalline feather. It looks like it would almost be made of like fractalized ice. As she would make her way back down the tree, kind of almost crawling. She still appears weak, but she's able to move, as you get a sense she was kind of stuck in place before. She turns to you, Brackenworth, and holds it out, kind of down to you, with a small smile on her face. This is one of many you could retrieve in the shrine of the north here. And she gestures back towards through the woods. It should assist you if you intend to enter.
I will tell her no thanks is necessary, but bow and accept the gift.
All right, she will take it put it into your hand. And if you'd like to add just a crystalline feather into your inventory, just so you know that you have it, or just keep a note of it, as I have it,
Okay.
you may.
I will return to the group and ask them if they know what specifically this is for, or if I should give it to one of them.
It was
Sometime during
given
this.
to you, so I would say hold on to it. But there is a chance that it might give us some advantage with the guardian of the shrine.
Gently smile and say thank you and put it into my package.
And you see the dryad will kind of nod and... Thank you, my friends. North you will find the shrine proper, and you will find more of those. She kind of nods to the feather. Any questions you have should be answered there, I believe. She looks to the seed in Lythamir's hand. Thank you again. Thank you.
Excuse
It's
me,
not a
miss.
problem.
Yes,
Miss, what's your name?
Ivy.
Good to meet you, Ivy.
Good to meet you as well.
I'm Chipper.
She gives a little bit of a smile.
Thank you for the feather.
And thank you for your kindness. Watch, she will slowly, almost kind of like meld back into the tree.
Before we leave the
Mhm.
area, can I try to take a sample of what I believe to be the fungus that is eating away at this area to bring it back to the camp so it can be inspected?
Let me try. If you take it, give me a call it a dex check. Give me a sleight of hand. So you're kind of
Dex check?
away.
Okay. Not great. 8.
As you kind of go to try and collect it, Lathamir, just kind of scraping it away, trying to get a little bit into a container of sorts that you could return to the camp with, you're gonna feel this as these spores would erupt towards you, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, thing. Now, it's not trying to put me to sleep or
It's not trying to
charm
put-
me, correct?
Nope, it does not.
Okay. Yikes, that's a 9.
As you would take 12 necrotic damage, you can feel these spores just release into the air. Those of you who are kind of standing by can watch as Lathamir just brushes his blade against one of them, trying to scrape it off. This plume of spores that hits him in the face. You can watch as this odd kind of black not quite necrotic energy, but you can see that his eyes briefly kind of roll back in his head. The areas around his lips turn blue. For just a moment, you can see this kind of black, almost tendril-like quality spread from his mouth before he's able to kind of bring it back. He takes that damage.
I mean, are you all right? Are you so yourself?
Oh Lord, what was that? These
Yes, what
mushrooms
was
are very dangerous.
I
Yes,
believe
apparently so.
I was simply hoping to bring a sample back so that we could have the druid or ASO have a look at them, inspect them, see if there's anything that we can do.
Did you get any?
I think
Unfortunately,
you may have
not.
gotten too much.
Indeed.
That was quite.
Oh, that's a shame.
I look to the group and ask them if we could mark this spot on the location on a map so we could possibly send somebody with better skills here.
Yes, make sure you mark it as hazardous.
Would a member with navigation tools and proficiency have any assistance in this?
Yeah, give me a let me think. Give me an investigation check, Eric. Or not investigation. Give me an investigation advantage. Because you're trying to
For me?
kind
Or
of plot it out.
Can I also give him
Somebody else.
guidance?
Or Eric can offer advantage, whichever you'd like. If you'd like to offer Eric advantage,
Oh.
vice versa.
If you're gonna make an investigation, I'm only +1, so I'll offer the advantage.
Okay. So you're kind of
Uh,
trying to
plus
figure it out.
0, so
Lathimir's got the best.
Let them take it.
I'll give him
Yeah,
guidance.
they can do it.
Yeah.
If
I can assist.
Let's have, I suppose, Eric roll me investigation at advantage, and whichever you give it guidance. That would work.
Copy.
while they're doing that,
Well, there's 20 right there.
Boom.
There you go. Fucking dope. You and Brackenworth kind of hang back together, look over a map, try and like draw through the best of your knowledge where you had gone through the Journal Forest, kind of following Myco. You lean in and try and see if you can identify that clearing where you met Esmeralda, and you think that you find it pretty well. Then draw the line north, and you can see that you've hit just a massive, line of trees. There's not really a break here anywhere, and so you kind of mark best that you can where you think that you are, and just with your knowledge of navigation tools, you think you're pretty on point.
I'll add it to my ongoing map.
All right, dope.
this is the result of the Hortian god having control of the springs. It causes this decay to the land. We cannot allow it to happen again.
That is
No, I
true.
agree. Those look vile.
It's
Retaking
unfortunate to know that our camp
moon-
is sided with them right now.
Right, retaking the Moonwell from our own allies might be tricky politically. But I have no doubt that you are absolutely correct. We may need to remedy the situation sooner rather than later, especially if the druid you met yesterday was saying something similar.
Yes, Roderick, I believe his name was. Maybe I might be mistaken, but one thing is for certain: we have to make sure that they don't gain control of any others.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, this is an important conversation to have. I don't know if
Later.
here and now is the place to have it.
You are quite right, Eric. Let us follow the wolf.
As Myco will begin to lope forward, leading you guys further into the shrine, and there's no walking back into the canopy of trees this time. As you watch, you just go from one clearing to another. This one a little bit more well lit by the moonlight. It will show daytime. It is in fact night. As you guys make your way in, coming from the south, you can see this stone structure, very odd compared to what you've seen before. And unlike the map, you would see there are actually 4 paths that kind of lead off of the main shrine area. One here, one here, one here, one here. And as Myco leads you guys in, kind of from the south, you would see on the ground, kind of in this stone pathway that leads up to the door, there appears to be a manner of tail of sorts. As Myco doesn't pay attention to it as he's walking over it, but those of you following behind him would be able to see, kind of carved into the ground, what appears to be a depiction of the Lure, the Moon Elves, who appear to be assembling, just as you are, an arrow. It goes about here. As you can see them grabbing an arrowhead, a shaft, fletching, tying it together. As Maiko continues to make his way forward and up, you see that there is a massive pack of wolves that kind of conglomerates and moves along with the lure. One of them ahead, holding this new arrow he had knocked into the bow. He makes his way forward even further. The arrow is let loose, streaking through the air before it strikes the wolf at the very front of the pack. As you go forward some more, it falls. The elves gather around it. You watch as they get about here, and it's almost as this odd optical illusion as the carved wolf slowly gets up until you can see it kind of here, facing towards you, still on the ground, not up, but larger, renewed, different. You can see carved into the ground all around, maybe hard to see through the little bits of grass that grow about and the ivy that's encroached upon the shrine, but you can see carvings of all the other wolves that have gathered around, seemingly venerating this one wolf that was struck by the arrow. Further back, you can see on this door what appears to be a depiction of a large winged creature, kind of arms or wings outstretched, spanning from one edge of the door to the other. You see that there appear to be small indentations kind of in the wings, downward, for 3 feathers. You see there's Elven script that is written kind of along the top of the door.
Right. I will take a look at the script. What does it say?
Top, you can see it reads, "O guardian of the forest, a leader of the pack, grant entrance to those who would present to you 3 feathers. O guardian of the forest, a protector of the skies, grant safe passage to those who would present you with 5. See that the kind of swirls about, moves in and out. You can see kind of scattered. It's almost as though the feathers are pointing to each of the 4 paths that are around. Only 3 indentations.
There are only 3 indentations.
There are only 3 indentations in the stone.
Mm-hmm.
You watch as Brackenorth, kind of walking forward with the 1 feather, getting close. It would begin to lightly glow, almost kind of illuminating from within. It's kind of like a bioluminescent quality to it. Feel a slight tug from your hand.
North, keep moving the feather towards the door. See which of the indentations it moves towards, or if any new ones appear.
I will take the feather in my hand and walk, holding it as tightly as I can, since
Chipper.
I'm feeling. But
Chipper, keep a close eye out on everything else as we get closer.
I'm always watching.
Brackenorth, you step forward, kind of extending the feather out. You feel this pull on your hand. And it's almost like you're trying to hold on to a magnet that's being pulled and pulled and pulled. And it doesn't fly out, it doesn't seem to go to any particular one, but it's kind of like pulling in all 3 directions. So you kind of stand in the middle of all 3 of the indentations. No new indentations appear.
I'll explain that to my party, that I feel like it's pulling me towards it.
The middle one.
The central, yes. Move to the central and see what happens.
I'll move forward with the feather out.
Once you step within just a few feet, the feather would actually kind of dissolve in your fingers. Almost turn to dust for a moment before you'd watch as it would come forward. It would kind of take up this glimmering form in the indentation before it would solidify. A stone would appear where that indentation once was. 2 more to go.
Slack-jawed, looking at the rest of the party like, oops.
I think you're fine.
That's
Okay.
precisely what is supposed to happen, I believe.
Yes, now we just need to find 2 more of those feathers.
Nay, we need to find 4, and there are 4 paths.
Indeed.
Before we leave, noticing the depictions of the wolves, is there any sort of a resemblance to Maiko as the main wolf, and also like what is Maiko's reaction to the stone wolves that are around?
As to Maiko's reaction, he doesn't seem to notice. He doesn't seem to actually even look down to observe the wolves. He steps over them. In terms of resemblance, you can tell it's the general same species, but in terms of like coloration, size, anything like that, it's hard to tell, as the carvings are faded to such a degree. They've been there for quite some time, you can tell,
Yep.
and it's kind of hard to depict finer features when you're drawing what appears to be hundreds of wolves.
Yep.
I think we're thinking the same thing, Lethamir.
Seems to be that way, doesn't it?
It does.
North would squat and finger the carving of the biggest wolf up top, just admiring the artwork.
What's Maiko doing? Does he seem to be favoring any of the paths that we've seen?
He seems to be waiting patiently for you guys, as he kind of just... He looks about at the 4 paths, kind of looks back towards the shrine door, cocks his head, and kind of a little whine as he looks back towards the paths.
I believe our canine guide has gotten us where he wants to. Heon, I believe the command is yours.
Very well. Let us take the leftmost path then.
Leftmost? Alright. There are 2 left, one kind of northwest, one kind of straight west. Which would you like to take?
Let us take the west.
Okay. As you guys would take the west path, Maiko would remain in the middle of the shrine. You'd see he'd kind of lie down and just kind of set his head on his paws, as he seems to be willing to wait for you as you go about gathering the rest of these feathers.
Before we head off, I'll give him a little pat on the head and thank him for leading us here, and then go to lead the party to the left, to the west.
You'd step through, and there would be this faint, odd sort of fog that would encroach upon the ground as you step through that western path. It rolls in out of nowhere. You get this faint chill that runs up your spine. You can swear that you hear sounds that shouldn't be there. Faint steel against steel, and whispers, murmurs, and cries. As you guys would make your way to the west, you'd eventually break through the forest, the foliage that again encroaches upon your path. You would find yourself in what to most of you would look familiar. A little bit different, almost like it's been flipped, changed in some ways. So you'd emerge about here, coming from the west. You see what appears to be a odd rendition of those ruins to the northwest.
Right.
Different, but similar. As you can see, battle standards about, swords embedded in the ground, spears laying shattered all around. And faintly, as you look about, your passive perception, Chipper, able to kind of keen eye the area, see that there appears to be a faint glimmer coming from this statue up here, this sort of altar. Hard to tell in the moonlight, but it definitely stands out to you.
The altar at the far north?
Yeah, over here.
Okay.
See that there's a slight glimmer right here.
Come in from the south.
Can I kind of look around for any trees kind of similar in size or species to the one of the dryad that we met?
Roll nature.
That's 11.
You don't see any, unfortunately. Everything looks smaller. Everything looks different, too. The actual makeup of the trees, the species, subspecies that you're seeing, are different. it's not the same area that you're in. It's like you've stepped through to somewhere else for just a moment.
We don't see any suspicious bumps on these trees, do we?
Not at all. See
Okay.
that it just appears to be this faint ruin.
Are there any bodies on the ground?
Roll perception for me.
Okay.
I give him guidance on that.
Okay. I'll take it. That'll be a 21.
21. You look around, Keon. There are not bodies on the ground, but you can see that kind of over here,
Mm-hmm.
water as you glance across. Hard to see, but there are silhouettes, what appear to be corpses, just kind of barely beneath the water surface. Kind of doing the dead man's float, but low.
Looks like there are some corpses in the water. Let's stay clear of the water, please.
Yes, and don't disturb the corpses.
Indeed.
Understood.
Matter of fact,
Yes?
I just have to check something real quick. Oh, never mind. It takes a spell slot.
Can you see if there are any undead around, Chipper?
Yes, I'm going to take an action to do exactly that. Know the location of any undead within 60 feet of me.
In 60 feet. Chipper, you don't actually get any indication that there are undead near the water. You would, however, get this kind of faint glimmer of almost shrouds, specters, that kind of are in this area here, as you'd be able to faintly make out their outlines. You can
Now,
feel like a
the pro-
faint pull, as though there are more, but you're not sure where.
Okay. Okay, everybody be cautious. There are rats to the northeast, just up there, and I'll point to where I sense them. And there are some also nearby. So go slowly, and if you feel a sense of dread or foreboding, and you notice it go noticeably stronger, say something so we can go in the opposite direction.
Hey.
And
Very well.
Makes sense, as they're probably there to protect the shrine.
Maybe. Maybe not. I'll go ahead
Maybe not.
and draw my sword.
I can do that a few more times, so I'll do it once again once we've ventured further in.
All right, let's head up towards that altar in the north there.
It's actually a really useful effect.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw a net over my shoulder and pull out my javelin.
All right.
If prioritize magical weapons if you have them. If we're dealing with specters, then there's no telling if ordinary weapons can harm them.
Alrighty, then I'll pull out my +1 longsword.
Excellent, good
Yeah.
choice.
There don't seem to be
That may
any
be a problem
undead
for
swords.
me.
There don't seem to be any sort of undead in the lake, so we might want to skirt towards there to avoid the rafts.
Okay. So we'll kind of come down around this way.
Yeah.
And if we don't see anything threatening, then head up towards the temple area here, and go up the stairs, keeping a very careful eye on the direction to the east that Chipper indicated.
Nothing seems to react to you guys. Kind of move forward. As you would step into that main area, Chipper and Keon leading the way. So
Yep.
Could both of you make me wisdom saves, please?
Yay!
Sure, I have advantage on those.
Is it charmed or magic putting me asleep?
No, it is not.
Okay, 13.
30-20.
30-20? 13. As Chipper, you are hit with this like faint whisper that goes across your kind of from one side of your head to the other. It's almost like a breeze. You can feel it kind of drag across your neck. And this aura of sorrow, sadness. Keon, you are hit with this full force. As you find yourself, just for a moment, blink, and then as you're looking up at a gray sky, and you can feel water lapping all around you, kind of pushing at your face and moving to cover your mouth and your nose. And as you can feel yourself being pushed beneath the water and feel that sort of brackish just push into you. The salt rubbing against your skin, the sand grating against your back. As you can look up and through and see this individual standing over, humanoid, gray hair, smiling as he pushes you beneath the waves.
Does it remind me of the priest in Holy Head?
It is exactly the priest in Holy Head.
Oh shit!
As he looks down at you and just pushes you further and further under, and you struggle pushing back against him. You snap out of it, but you do take 3 psychic damage. As
Yep.
You come back forward, and the last thing you hear before you kind of fade out is you're briefly in this individual's head, kind of feeling all these emotions, hearing his thoughts. You hear Esmeralda, and then pushed further under.
That was in his head?
That was in his head, yeah.
We see Keon, like anything, do we see anything around
yeah.
him?
Yeah, he visibly kind of stops for a moment. He doesn't quite fall over, but he kind of wavers on his feet for just a moment.
Keon, are you okay?
No, I just saw a vision of myself being pushed under the water, being sacrificed like what the priest in Holyhead was doing to your people, Ethamir. And I heard in his mind him saying Esmeralda as the waters closed over my head.
Well, Ethamir would have stepped up, like, as soon as he saw Keon sort of, like, stumble, and reach out and put a hand on him to steady him. You said you saw someone. What did he look like?
No, it was the priest from Holyhead.
You saw it as though you saw it as though through Esmeralda's eyes.
I saw
As
through my
though
eyes.
you were the one being sacrificed.
No, I was being sacrificed, and I heard in his head him say Esmeralda. I fear for her.
Do I have any memories triggered by hearing this at all?
You could get like blurry things, Lythamir. The feeling of water in your lungs, as Keon describes it, and that kind of faint, shimmering vision of the prior, but not much.
Okay.
I'll touch Lethamir.
And stepping forward, do I have to do the wisdom save or no?
You do not, as it appears to only affect the first couple of individuals who stepped in.
Yeah, I'll grab your arm in a sense of camaraderie and compassion, as I have a sense that you've gone through that, Lethamir.
Hold out for Esmeralda?
I don't know. We'll have to. We'll unpack this later.
Yes,
We must go
probably
forward.
best.
All right, and I'm gonna take a good solid look around, to see if I see anything odd, untoward, anything that might have caused this effect before moving forward.
You do not see anything as you kind of take a glance around. Doesn't seem like anything specifically caused it, besides the ground itself.
Very well. Let us proceed, but with caution.
Esmeralda would, at this point, pull out his bow and have an arrow knocked, but not drawn. Just prepared.
Magical weapons out if you have them.
Alright. Chipper, stepping forward. As you can see, you draw closer to the altar. There is indeed, kind of just placed upon it delicately, beneath what looks to be a statue. It's obviously ruined. It's fallen into disrepair to such a degree that you can't identify what it's supposed to be. Is a crystalline feather, just lies there, waiting for you.
Unless someone else wants to override me, may I suggest North take the east, or I'll take the west, because I can guarantee something's going to happen.
You are not wrong, my friend.
Is there any writing around the where the feather is or around the main part of the shrine?
You don't see any. If there was any, like you might be able to make faint indentations, but it's weathered away to such a degree that you cannot read it.
Right.
Well.
Okay, Chipper, you can see them potentially. Lethemir, you have an arrow knocked, yes?
Yes, but unfortunately, I don't have a magical weapon.
All right. I do. Chipper, you have magic, yes?
Yes, of course.
Lethemir, then, you are the lucky man who gets to pluck the feather. While we keep an eye out.
And very hesitantly, Lethemir
I'm
will
gonna
walk up.
before he does that, I'm gonna cast Bless on the three of them.
Sounds good.
What does Bless do?
Gives you a D4 on saves and attacks.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Chipper bows her head for a moment, and you feel this radiant warmth wash over you.
How's everything going?
Step forward and pluck the feather, Lethemir. Pick it up.
Yep.
All right. You would hear this faint whisper on the wind as you do. And those of you who are kind of looking around can see as the scene shifts quite quickly, as again, sort of similar to you, Keon, who has seen this before. You watch as shades and specters of that battle that occurred long ago begin to play out before your very eyes. And two figures would kind of emerge from the smoke and the fog that begins to roll in on all around you. As one would appear to the west towards Eric, one would appear to the east towards Brackenwood. Let's roll initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that attack. That was for our three melee fighters. Lethemir, Eric, and
Oh, you're giving bless to us?
Brecna.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I can bless up to 3, so it's gonna be the fighters, people making attack rolls.
I appreciate that. What is that again? A D4?
D4 to attacks and saves.
Thank you.
Thing that it does not do.
So I'm making my rim white just to remind myself.
And as you guys would look at these two individuals, could you roll perception checks for me as they step their way out?
Be able to do. I'm not gonna be able to do much
Dirty
about it with
20.
Oh my
12.
lord.
With a massively high initiative of 4.
Natural
Still beats me.
one.
Eric, could I get a perception check as well?
Sorry. This thing's been teasing me all night. I've been seeing the crit. Rolled a 2.
As Brackennorth, Chipper, and Keon. Brackennorth only recognized these individuals because you saw them recently. It appears to be specters of Esmeralda and Jericho, or at least resemble them. Step their way out.
Shit. The ones that got away.
Definitely see the sweat forming on his brow.
Oh, that's initiative. Who are we missing in the initiative order? Mr. Brackennorth, if you could put your initiative to the right, like with
Yeah,
the others.
pop out a new token of yourself and
Okay.
write your initiative first and then your armor class.
How did you roll worse than me, Eric?
Same way I've been rolling all night. It'll tease the crit and then roll to the side. Been doing that
Too bad Bless
all night.
Too bad it's
Up
not
and down for
considered
me.
a saving throw.
Agreed. It's okay.
How about
There you go.
isn't initiative a saving throw? Right. After D4.
If only.
Which?
This is an ability check,
It's an
actually.
ability check. Yes, it is, which is why bards have proficiency on it.
That is why, if you are a warlock, use Hex on initiative.
Yeah, no
Intense.
problem.
All right, dope. As we come into this initiative, you see these two spectral figures stepping out of the mist, kind of coalescing and forming into these odd luminescent shapes themselves. A little bit off, though, as you can tell they are not quite the spirits that those of you who have been to the shrine to the east, to the north, sorry, have encountered. Brackennorth, you're up first as you watch this individual who appears like that elven woman you met just moments ago, stepping her way out, longbow in hand. What would you like to do?
Well, let's see here. I would moving as close as I could.
Okay.
And swing with my +1 longsword.
Oh, see it.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to. There it is. Be a 24 to hit.
24 will hit. You walk up and be able to slice through this energy that is coalesced in front of you.
Alrighty, and attack is 8 damage.
8 damage, alright, as you slice through, and it's like you kind of cut through the light for a moment, and it kind of dissipates before it has to reform back together. Will that be all?
And for now, yes, that'll be it.
Alright, Keon, you're up next. As you can see, Brackenorth kind of step forward, take a swing at the Spectre who resembles Esmeralda, looking over, seeing Jericho's Spectre step forward, drawing 2 swords as opposed to the longbow. What would you like to do?
I will yell, "You are not my friend!" And bonus action Hex on the Jericho figure. And then follow it up with a green flame blade.
Alright,
Attack with the Grasp of the Earth Mother.
good.
So that's going to be a 15 to hit.
15 will hit.
Excellent. All right. So the Earth Mother will do 5 points of damage. And the Green Flame Blade will do an additional 4 points of damage.
Alright.
And the Hex will do an additional 2 points of damage.
Okay. Watch as the green flame spreads through as that after effect. The hex kind of eating away at the light, the necrotic energy seeping through. Is that your
Nice.
That is my turn.
turn? Alright. That will bring us to them. As the Esmeralda one will take a moment, she will bonus action disengage from you, Brackenorth. Kind of step back, the longbow in her hand. And you watch these 2 spectral arrows will shoot out, and one of those will miss, but one will hit. This slams into you with a 21. She rolls very well on that one. And you take a grand total of, that was the wrong dice. Woo, you take 8 piercing damage. You feel this arrow kind of sink through you, and it almost goes straight through your body. It doesn't stop when it hits. It feels like it just passes on through, and watch as it bolts across the arena. Jericho, swords in hand, will kind of dance between Keon and Eric. See swiftly, 1, 2, 3 swipes. One to Keon, not one to Eric, that'll miss. Wow, he fucking misses all of me. As you can watch as the light shimmers. Vector does not quite get purchase on you guys. That will bring us to Lethamir.
Quick question: would I have been able to use Stone's Endurance by a reaction?
Yes, you could have.
Yes.
Okay.
Certainly.
I'll save it, but I just want to make sure I know what I'm doing. I understand what I'm doing here. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. No worries. Lethamir, you're up.
So I was more focused on picking up the feather, and I didn't quite get a good look at them. So do I recognize them now? Seeing them attack my friends?
As you kind of look at them and take a moment to stop and look, yes, you do recognize them.
What? What are you guys doing? Why are we attacking them? Surely we could have spoken. And Lethamir will kind of attempt to diffuse Esmeralda and Jericho. Please. I understand that we attacked first, but surely there must be a way to speak.
You try to call out to them, Lethamir. Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Persuasion, yeah?
Yep.
That's an 8.
You're pleased.
Can I use the bless on it?
That is for ability check. I believe it's for saving throws, not ability checks.
Saving throws and attacks,
saving
but
throws.
yeah, okay. So it can't really count as a persuasive attack.
No, it cannot count as a persuasive attack, as you're pleased to fall upon deaf ears, as these specters, as you recognize, neither of them even seem to look at you or recognize you. Seems odd.
I will Yeah, I'll just stand and wait.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yep, that'll be my turn.
Chipper, you are up as you see these two figures coalescing, one landing a strike, one not quite doing anything. What would you like to do?
Chipper is going to bonus action throw up a spiritual weapon right over Esmeri and attack with that.
Okay.
So 24 to hit.
Absolutely hits.
6 damage.
Hey.
And she's also going to Eldritch Blast it.
Okay.
23 to hit.
Mm-hmm. That'll hit.
And 18 to hit.
Both will hit. See it. Fire in the hole. Raise your hand and
7 damage.
yep. 2 blasts streak out, hit through the light. It has some trouble reforming as it's not quite made of what it once was. That end your turn?
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right, Mr. Norland, what would you like to do?
Mostly to Lethamir, I'll be shouting, I know my friends, and they are alive and well, and I'll have blades with anyone who takes their face. And he'll take his magical sword, and he'll start swinging against Jericho. Does Hex affect this in any way that I need to worry about?
No.
Thank you.
Strength, so if it tries to grapple you.
But it's gonna be quite bad at that.
23 for the first.
Mm-hmm. Certainly hits.
For 9 damage.
All right.
Still standing, I trust.
Yes, it is.
Number
Seems like
2.
you're having trouble reforming.
19.
It hits.
For an additional 6 damage.
All right. Cleave through both times. You watch as it scatters the light a little bit. And it has some trouble bringing itself back together.
Hold my ground and turn.
Alrighty. Top of the order, that will bring us back to Mr. North, kind of looking around, seeing these individuals step forward, feeling that arrow permeate through you before this spectral weapon appeared next to Esmeri, took a swipe through her. You can hear your friends engaged on the far side. Lethamir just kind of standing there calling to these two spirits. What would you like to do?
Very conflicted because he heard 2 different stories. He'd probably rush up and attempt to take an attack again.
Okay.
And with the longsword, that'll be a 16 to hit.
16 will hit.
And I would use Divine Smite.
Okay.
Nice.
Let me double check. I'm still reading here. I apologize.
you're good.
Let's-
You get a D8 according to the spell slot, and you get an extra 2d8 because of the undead, if I recall correctly.
So you can expand 1 spell slot, 2d8 extra radiant damage plus another 2d8 for undead.
Yeah, you believe it is. Yep, 2d8 for a first level spell, and then you get 1 extra d8. My apologies.
Alrighty, that'd be 12 with the sword and 2 extra d8.
Yep.
So 3d8 total?
3d8. Yep. You have 2 from using the first level spell slot, then 1 because it's undead, so you get 3 total.
Okay,
So you click on the dice, you select the 8 and click it 3 times.
Everybody.
There he goes.
So it'd be 25 altogether.
God damn. You step forward and cleave through with the blade. It kind of slices
Nice.
in. You watch as it leaves that barrier open, kind of seeing the tendrils of the light kind of attempt to push back into themselves before that explosion of divine energy rocks through. And you see as it kind of is blown away, there's this faint hint of darkness that appears, as this appears to be some manner of illusion or facsimile of these individuals. You see it dissipates instantly as that divine light rocks through it.
How much movement would I have left after that dissipated?
You had only used 5 feet. You still got 25.
So I would move to attempt to engage the other one.
Other one is quite a distance away, as it is about 55 feet. You could get to about where Chipper is with your 25.
Okay. Then I'll move somewhere in there. I'm guessing that's where it'd be closest. to accept.
I got you here. There's actually, if you want, on Owlbear, there is a little protractor right beneath the paintbrush tool, and you can measure out distances.
Thank you.
No problem. Kind of make your way over, hurtle over the little bit of rubble that's there, land next to Chipper, and Chipper, you just watch him annihilate that specter to the north.
Well
Kinda
done.
land next to you. Will that end your turn, sir?
Yes, sir. That'll end my turn.
All right, Keon, you are up as you can hear this explosion of divine energy rock through the air behind you.
All right, Keon will move to get flanking with Eric.
Okay.
And once again, his rapier blade running up and down with green fire, he will make a stab at the specter masquerading as his friend.
Okay. Can see it.
And so attacking with advantage. That's going to be an 18, and then the bless will be an additional 4, so 22.
22 will hit.
All right. So the sword does 12 points of damage. The green flame blade does an additional 2 points of damage. And the hex does 4.
Okay. I believe that is a total of 18, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
That's just enough. As you step through and you see Eric, that Keon just kind of sidesteps around the specter and slams his blade through the back. You see it comes out the other side, and the specter just explodes off into this radiant light and dissipates almost instantly. We'll end initiative. And as we end initiative, let's actually take a 5-minute break so I get some beer.
cool.
Oh shit! I thought that was going to be harder. I wouldn't have power spiritual weapon.
That's the first of 4.
So far. Yep.
They're giving us the option to like maybe quit after 2, but
These passage with 3, safe passage with 5.
exactly.
Escape passage with 5. That's what I'm saying.
Unless number 3 and 4 become a titan of some form, and but still, I say we go for all 4.
We could also find
Yeah.
some loot. We could also find some loot in some of these rooms.
Indeed.
I hope
Do
we
it.
can find a
All right.
spring through the door through the shrine that I can plant the tree at.
I have
Either
abs-
that, or we could go back to the shrine where we the first one that we cleansed, the Earth Mother one, where I got the sword from, and we could plant it there.
Yeah, she'd be
I
happy there.
haven't been to that one. I don't know what that one is that you're talking about. I've had a couple of ideas. I've thought of taking it to the other Moonwell where we know that the other guy is, and bringing the Dryad there as like a gift of good faith, and someone
Yeah.
who said she wants to be with the Earth Mother.
Right.
I was also thinking of if we find a well on the other side of this thing,
I think that's unlikely.
or I thought maybe by the grove where Jericho hangs out.
that was going to be a suggestion of
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, at the camp. Because that would be not only helpful to the camp, but it would also be like a connection there for Jericho. It would like help it grow, and it would be like a connection with the druid that's there.
Well, it
So it was
couldn't
a
be too
bunch of
close to
different
the camp.
options.
How Earth Mothery is the camp, though?
It couldn't
Well,
be
it's more the
yeah.
grove than the camp itself.
It couldn't
I
be too
don't-
close to the camp because druids.
I'm not sure.
Druids aren't going to really want people like.
We
being
don't
in
really
places
know
with
much
other
about the
people.
druid, right? That's
No,
the
the
problem.
dryad.
We know she's some sort of goddess, and
She's a
wicked
dryad.
You,
one.
yeah, my character doesn't. Sorry, my character doesn't know shit about the druid.
Right.
So
Oh,
all I know is that Jericho goes and hangs out by that grove with all the trees there.
That is true.
So I assume there's some sort of resemblance to the Earth Mother within that area because that's the area that he seems to stay. So
Well, something my character's had a recent experience with. I've no qualms with us searching for supplies and returning with them. Can I make the humble suggestion that no one actually bonds or wears anything until they've actually had it officially identified?
I
The last thing
agree.
we...
I'm tired of casting remove curse.
That's kind of why I didn't bring my javelin along.
And that's a wise decision.
Thank you.
risk
I'm
it for the
glad,
biscuit, you know.
I'm glad you asked.
But a +1 javelin would have been helpful here for me. But
Well, I'm just hoping for finding a +1 bow around here somewhere.
I'm just hoping to complete the mission with my skin intact.
I'll tell you what, if we complete this mission successfully, I'll remove curse on that thing so you can wear it, so you can equip it.
I'm fairly sure
Sounds like
remove
it.
curse doesn't work on items.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, mine wound up being sort of a side effect of the sword that was already taken care of by Hale. So I appreciate the offer, but I'm okay.
when we get back to camp, I'll equip it and see what happens. I guess.
In terms of magical items, I hear that as I step back. Actually, it only allows you to unattune from said item. The curse remains. It says so explicitly in the.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You couldn't actually take the curse off the item with it. It's like you have to do a high level spell for that, don't you?
Some big shit for it. Some big old shit.
High level dispel magic.
Probably.
I think the spell magic might work.
It depends on what kind of thing was used.
Yeah, it depends on the kind of curse.
Curses are just kind of fuck you.
I think we're kind of getting into the weeds on the subject. I'm just saying, don't attune to anything until it's checked out first. Focus on the mission, gentlemen.
You must have faith.
At least identify it.
Identify
I'll say
actually
this
doesn't have
much.
curse either. Shouldn't.
At least I know that nobody will stay dead with me.
I have detect curse.
Detect curse will do it. Identify does not reveal curses.
You have detect curse. You might be my best friend. You know, you should advertise that in the camp. Charge a gold per. Can you ritual it?
That's what I'm checking.
Because that could be a full-time job at the camp.
I can't ritual cast it, no.
Ah, darn.
Alright, we're back in 2 seconds.
Alright.
That would have been too OP.
Yeah.
I can also bestow curses.
So remind me not to piss yourself,
Don't
piss
curse
you
me.
off. Gotcha.
I would greatly appreciate not being cursed.
Oh, no worries. Wouldn't dream of it as long as you don't. As long as there's no reason for it.
Way to avoid. Don't call Chipper him.
Yes. Proper pronoun.
That's an easy way to get Eldritch Blast.
Yes. Alright, is everyone back? Everyone ready? Shall we continue?
Is Tex back?
Oh, he just.
Cool.
Oh, cool. I thought I heard him. As you guys would watch, kind of standing there in the aftermath, that the specters dissipate, blasted away into the night. You'd watch as similarly the fog would dissipate around you. You could see these creatures, these shades, specters of that battle, fading away, though all of you could see very plainly, kind of stepping up to the water, a mad grin upon his face. You see this reflection, more detail given to the battle than you had seen before, any of you who had been to that shrine. To the prior, Halcyon, stepping up with a wicked grin upon his features, kind of reflected in this odd torchlight that seems to shine through the spectral nature of this vision.
I recognize him.
Oh yeah, totally.
I instantly attack.
And arrow flies and goes straight through. Kind of
I use.
Do
one
we
of my
have the
shots
feather? Lethemir, do you have the
Yes.
feather?
I do have the feather. I
There's
attack
nothing
with,
here to fight for.
It's not real. It's just a vision.
I attack with
It's
my
an
bursting
echo of
arrow,
the-
by the way.
It's an
what?
echo of the past.
My bursting arrow.
Okay.
So it does 2d6 of force damage when it hits the target,
You just
or
watch-
wherever it lands.
you see the water just kind of erupts. And you see
The mission is
fire.
complete here.
It's understandable. He's reliving his trauma.
You understood what he did to me, to our people. He'll
Yes, we
never be
know.
forgiven.
We know and we're
Um,
sorry, but that was but an echo of the past. You can't affect it.
It was. Let us
Forgive me.
leave this place and
And forgive me also for hesitating before.
know that
Ah.
it's understandable.
Going forward, I'll try not to do so.
But we had just seen our friends, and we knew that they were not the specters that we saw before us.
Just
I believe they were pulled from our memories as the most recent people that we'd seen, the Wrath's given form.
I guess I just hoped that we maybe were able to pull some information from the past.
I fear something darker, something connected to the past, rather than necessarily just our minds. But
I believe they can only glean surface thoughts, not really pry deeply.
let us continue and return, and perhaps take the northwest path this time.
Agreed.
Sounds good.
Oh.
Just before we left that area, could I have checked the statue out? Sorry.
The statue is completely like rubble. You can't make anything.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. You guys make your way back. You see Micah would kind of perk up a little bit as you make your way back in. The feather would again begin to glow as you make your way forward. But if you don't approach the door, it would not move and kind of change as it had done before. Northwest path? Or sorry, Eric?
I was going to say, I recommend we not add any more feathers till we're done good and ready.
I think that's wise.
I was just
Fine by
about
me.
to say that.
Yes, let
Hey,
us
don't-
hold on to them as we collect them.
Don't
Right,
add the
so,
third feather until we have all 5.
Yes.
As
Right,
they
to
get
the
back
north.
to there, Lethamir will head up to Marco just to kind of calm himself and kind of get down close to him and give him a little pat and try to calm his nerves a bit after seeing the prior.
Alright. Micah will nudge into his hand and kind of look at it slightly, noticing the perhaps familiar expression, as you've probably seen Jericho that way before. Mr. North doing anything in particular? As you kind of make your way back, see your friends begin to group up, get ready?
Oh, I would once again attempt to make friends with Micah since we're kind of new to each other. Just gently holding his hand out to let Micah sniff.
Roll me animal handling an advantage, please.
I'll tell you to give him a piece of jerky.
Point of clarification, it was North that was having that flashback moment a moment ago?
Yeah, or it was Lethamir
Lemire?
that was
Okay.
having it.
That'll be a 12 for animal handling.
Well, even with that, Micah kind of extends his head and just kind of gently takes the jerky from your hand. Kind of looks up at you and cocked his head curiously, lets out a little noise.
Bow my head,
Kind of eats at the
showing
jerky.
the back of my neck.
Micah will bow his head as well, show the back of his neck.
By the way, Eric, it was Keon that had the flashback.
Yes, Keon had the
yeah.
vision.
Oh, Keon had the vision, yeah.
Yeah,
Lethamir was having little kind of reliving.
PTSD, yeah, that's what I was meaning.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. As we walk to the next one, I kind of want to be beside Lethamir and just kind of go, I understand past trauma, but the team needs you here, now, in the present.
Understand.
Okay. I will be happy to listen to you all you want when we're safe at camp. But here and now, I need you here and now.
Understood. I'll
Northwest.
steal my mind. Northwest it is.
I don't expect.
Colder... Go ahead.
I don't expect you to be fine and dandy. I'm just wanting you to put your best efforts on here and now, and then I'm going to shut up.
Would North been able to hear any of that conversation?
With your passive perception, I believe it's 10, correct?
Yes, sir.
You would not have been able to hear too much of it.
Okay.
You could hear them briefly talking to each other, but you couldn't really make out what they were saying.
Would I be able to tell if somebody was messed up, like, emotionally?
I think it is pretty clear that Lathamir.
Mir isn't really trying to hide it. It's
Yeah.
pretty obvious.
I just wanted to
Fucked
make sure
up.
as we continue forward, I'd walk up, put a hand on his shoulder, just nod, and keep walking forward.
Alright.
Some very clear panic when the guy came out of the pond and he shot an arrow. Like that wasn't the actions of a what's the word? Calm person.
I just wanted to make sure that I was able to notice before I said anything.
Alright.
No problem.
Just tap him on his shoulder, put a big old hand on his shoulder, and keep walking.
Lathamir will just give a nod and a very, very faint smile.
You guys would make your way on that northwest path. You'd see that it would swiftly descend downward, going from that just kind of straight and narrow wooden area that you've been in for a little while. You begin to go down beneath the earth. See that this hole would open up, and you get that faint scent of stagnant water that would waft up towards you. This odd bioluminescence shining back at you, kind of blue in nature. Feel water kind of begin to pool at your feet. As you'd make your way in, you guys would find yourself in this small, cavernous chamber, surrounded by what appears to be bioluminescent fungi and some fireflies kind of flitting about in the air. You look around, and you see distinctly that there appear to be chains kind of in the middle of the room here. There appears to be two of them that go this way, and there appears to be a central, almost cut-out platform right here. And you see they both kind of stick into that top of the platform.
Is that platform raised out of the water a bit?
Just barely. This area is raised out of the water just enough. You can see that the actual thing attached to the stone attached to the chain is also just barely raised from the floor, giving you that sense that it can be kind of pulled up or removed from the ground.
Do I recognize any of the fungi, or like whether or not the water is dangerous or poisonous at all?
Roll a nature check.
I can assist you if you'd like.
Oh, please.
I can give guidance. I don't think that works for that. Never mind.
No, you're good. You can do it.
Yeah, I'll give him guidance.
Say a little prayer. Walk up to him
Guidance?
and say a little prayer.
Wait, so is the assistance advantage?
Assistance advantage. Yes.
Okay.
And a D4.
Okay. And then the guidance is a D4.
Yes.
So it would be 18 nature.
18. You get the sense that the fungi itself is not dangerous, especially not if you don't eat it. You would know that this is probably poisonous if you were to ingest it. But just looking at it, no problem. The water itself as well appears to just be stagnant water. You can look around and notice that there are some odd kind of pits that descend into the darkness, but they don't seem to kind of doesn't pose any inert or innate threat to you. No.
At noticing pits,
Let's avoid the pits, gentlemen.
and Eric will have his grappling hook and rope ready.
Right, I'm going to draw the grasp of the Earth Mother. Alright, do I see any sort of glow like we had seen around the altar?
You do not immediately know.
Right, well, let's move towards the this area with the two chains, the raised portion, and let's avoid those two pits. So, let's head to the north-northwest direction as we go.
All right.
How deep is the water?
It's about it's only a few inches.
Okay.
It barely reaches up to your ankles.
All right.
You
That's
guys give me a group stealth check as you proceed forward.
Okay.
Oh boy, so good at those.
Bunch of you guys have a disadvantage at that.
Heon, you asked
Super
for
sad
this.
because I had a 19.
I got 8.
Is Bless still up?
Bless is not.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
It might be
8.
10, but even then.
6. I'll give myself guidance.
I'm guessing the hex is still up though, because an hour has not elapsed, correct?
Hour has not elapsed technically.
Excellent.
No.
Okay.
10. 10 for me.
10.
7.
Oh dear. As you guys
We
walk-
suck.
I donned the wrong armor.
You
Same.
guys can watch kind of slithering out from the pits that have assembled around as you see these masses of serpentine forms beginning to make their way out. And let's roll fucking initiative as you guys
Shit.
have drawn.
More swarms of things.
Yeah.
Why is it always
20.
swarms of things?
Uh-huh.
Would have preferred a nat 20 on an attack, but you know, it'll do.
Yeah.
6.
What's your dexterity, whoever got the 6?
That would be me, the north.
Okay. What's your dex, North?
My dex is 10. 0
Okay.
plus 0.
Alright, I'll go before you then. Because I also rolled a 6.
Alright. Albert, back to me, delete it, please. Alright.
Why is Eric so small?
Just because I dropped it that way. That's all. No biggie.
Alright. You guys kind of step your way forward through the water. You would hear this faint. Kind of watch as these forms sort of rise from the pits and begin to slither their way out. They would actually. Alright, Lethamir, you are up first. You can watch these forms begin to emerge and slither towards you guys. Getting about here
Okay.
before you notice them.
Knowing that we have melee fighters, I will shoot at the 2 further away. And again, my first arrow, I'm going to use my arcane shot, my bursting arrow.
Okay.
That is the wrong button. The first shot is 17 to hit.
17 will hit. Yep.
Cool. And then the damage for it is, oh, very nice, 12 piercing damage
Alright.
and 2d6 for 11 force damage, which is to all creatures within 10 feet.
As that bursting arrow rocks out, it scatters serpentine bodies all around. They are both looking kind of explodey as they are.
So
thrown
I
out
shot
blood.
2, so the 2 would have taken the piercing.
Yep, gotcha. Alright.
And then I'll shoot another arrow at 2 again for 26 to hit.
Hits.
And the damage is 10 piercing damage.
Alright. That 2 looks like it's barely holding itself together quite quickly. Is that your turn?
And I will move myself over to here. And that will be my turn.
Alright. That will bring us to them as these guys are stacking fast. They're going to rush up on Keon.
Oh shit.
Moving over here.
Oh,
And that is going to be a. Oh, it's a crit!
oh no.
As Keon, you take a total of. Oh, that's not good. You take a total of 14 piercing damage as these snakes just kind of rush up on you and bite into you. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Yeah, that'll be a 10.
Okay, as you pass.
Whew!
Good. As you kind of feel that chill begin to run up your spine, but are able to resist it, and you still take a total of 9 poison damage.
I am bloody. Actually, I'm a little bit more than bloodied.
As this second storm will move forward and kind of move over and kind of attempt to crawl up onto you, Mr. North.
Alright.
Oh god, that hits too! They're 21, they're rolling really well. Mr. North, you take a total of only 8 piercing damage, and I need a con save. As these snakes sink their fangs into you.
7.
God,
I will,
unfortunately.
as a reaction, use Stone's Endurance.
Okay, as you take, that is going to be 13 poison damage. Stone's Endurance reduces it by the roll there for it.
And the Stone's reaction is 1d12 plus 3.
All
hit
right.
Reduction.
Yep. You would have taken a total of 21, I believe. 13 plus the 8. Reduce that by whatever you roll. All right.
Would be
Ooh.
12 plus 3. So 12, 13, 14,
Nice.
15. I
Oh.
reduced 15.
So you only
Huh?
take a total
Roll.
of that is going to be
That's nice.
13, 12 plus 3. So you only take 6 damage. Just able to kind of ward off most of this. Grit your
Alright.
teeth, shake your way through. Lathamir. Snake's
Yes,
gonna come
sir.
over here and take a bitey at you, and so they're both gonna come over here. They're pissed off at you.
That is rude.
And one hits, one misses with a dirty 20 and a nat 2.
Alright.
For this first one, you take 6 piercing, con save.
Yep. Con save is 16.
All right. With that 16, you it still rolls well. You take 8 poison. That'll
Okay.
end their turn.
What was the first damage, sorry?
That would have been, I believe that was 5 piercing.
5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6, 11 total.
So 11 total damage. Okay.
All right. That'll end their turn. As Chipper, you are up, and you can see your friends just get swarmed by these fucking snakes.
Alright, so which one was 3 looking pretty bad from his first attack?
1 and 2 were looking rough, as 3 and 4 have not been attacked yet. It was 1 and 2 that were been attacked.
Okay. That changes things. I'm going to use my full movement to come up here where I can see 2, and I'm going to first I'm going to bonus action healing word on Zion.
Thank you.
So, So you regain. Hang on. 5 HP.
Okay. Thanks.
And yeah, then I'm gonna Eldritch Blast too.
Okay, that's it.
First right, 10 to hit.
10 misses, hits the water. You see a spray goes up.
That should hit. 21 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
Come on, high damage. 7 damage.
As 2 is obliterated, as you watch the last of the serpentine forms be scattered about.
Nice. And that. Then I already use my movement action, bonus action. Yeah, that'll do it.
All right, Eric, you're up as you watch these snakes just kind of move on to Brackenorth, your newfound companion, and just start gnawing at him.
Alrighty then. I'm gonna do what I usually do of try and get into the middle of things. Okay, if I get right there, do I have do the flanking rules apply for 3, or do I have to wait a turn?
It would apply.
Excellent. No offense, we're gonna go ahead and save the guy who isn't a fighter first.
Thank you.
Alright, so we're applying
Makes
for
sense.
hitting 3. With an 11.
Well, that's not gonna do it, unfortunately. As you draw it up, it's a little bit difficult to hit while Keon is kind of there.
Well, that's just my
Got
first
the
shot. So,
Oh, sorry, Keon, I was mispronouncing your name. Whatever.
16.
That one will do it. You swing that through.
With 11 damage, magic sword.
All right. Draw the blade through, and it cuts through some of the bodies, leaving some of them dropping off of you, Keon. So you watch Eric step and just swing the greatsword at you, just drawing up the serpents that are on your body.
Okay, and then how does Keon look?
Damaged. I'm still bloodied.
Do I have, would I be able to touch him?
Oh, from here. Yeah.
Okay, I'll reach out the Nazamar Healing Hands to grant 5 points of healing to Keon. And since I'm turning that on, I'll go ahead and turn then on my Azamar Radiant Damage, granting additional... How's that going to work out?
I believe the healing Hansen action.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Darn it. Raining
The transformation is an action, I believe.
bonus. For one. Shoot. It's as an action, too. Okay.
Yep.
Dang it to heck. All right. Well, I'll stand my ground and take my licks. End turn.
Gotcha.
Mythos Mori, keeping it family friendly since 2021.
All right, Keon, you are up as you can feel these snakes writhing all over you, biting into your body, injecting their venom and just tearing through you. Which is
Not terribly happy about them. Alright, I'll throw out my hand and smoky tendrils of hex will encompass number 3. And then I will do a slashing flourish with the grasp of the Earth Mother with its blade running with green fire. And that will be 22 to hit. Okay. So the sword itself will do. Keep rolling ones. 5 points of damage.
okay.
The hex will do 3, so that's a total of 8 right now. And then the green flame blade will do an additional 2, so that's going to be a total of 10 points of damage on
Right.
number 3.
Drawing it through, and the hex and the green flame blade just immolate some of the bodies. They fall to the ground into the water. The scent of charred flesh and odd serpentine scales kind of hitting your nose.
Right, and that'll be my turn.
All right, Mr. Brackenorth, as you watch all this unfolding, what would you like to do?
I have a question. 2-weapon fighting. Does that mean I get to use 2 weapons while I'm fighting?
One of them you have to use light weapons, I believe.
About that question for a second.
Okay, I was just making sure because I have the javelin and the sword, so I was just double checking. I'll move forward 1 spot here. And attack number 4.
Okay.
Come on,
With
man.
the javelin,
With the +1
long
sword. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Does he get flanking with Chipper or no?
From the way he totally does.
Okay,
So
so
it's an advantage.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll be a 13.
13.
I hit the wrong button. Sorry, no, I hit for javelin, not the sword. Is that?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, hit the sword. I know you got a better to hit on that.
And be 19 to hit
19 will hit. Do it.
and swing. Be 11 damage.
All right, as you cut through, cleave through some of the bodies. Right, is that your turn?
Yep.
Draw it through. All right. Top of the order, Lathamir. Watching as one of those serpentine piles next to you goes obliterating out as Chipper hits it with the Eldritch Blast. His other one's still close. You can hear Keon kind of exclaiming as these other ones are drawing up onto him. What would you like to do?
So, quick question. With my longbow, am I still able to use Shocking Grasp without putting it away?
Take one hand off your
It's-
bow, I'd imagine.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Well, with two
So,
hands, I think. Technically.
Lethamir will reach out a hand towards number 1 and you'll see lightning shoot out of it, and he'll use Shocking Grasp on number 1.
Okay.
Or, that is a 20 to hit.
20
I
hits.
assume hits. And the damage is. Could have been better, 8 shocking damage.
All right. It rocks through it. Doesn't seem to kill, but it brings it down.
Cool, and. I will. Step away from it now. I believe. Don't take an attack of opportunity.
Not
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, and then I will action surge, and I will shoot my arrow
Okay.
at number 3 first. So that is 11.
As you, Eric, just standing there, can feel this flip as an arrow goes right across your chest, kind of plinks into the wall on the far side.
Oi!
Sorry. Next one won't do that. And I'll shoot at number 3 again. That is much better. 28.
28. You watch as Dion, you just see 2 of these serpents get speared off of your legs.
Damn it. 5 damage. 5 piercing damage.
All right, you take some of them out. A couple still remaining. Is that your turn?
And that will... and I'll just bonus action healing second wind. That's the one.
All right.
1d10 plus 5 healing.
Dope. Alrighty. On their turn, Mr. 4 is going to move over here and attempt to bite Chipper as I move some shit.
Of course he is.
Chipper misses.
Would I get an attack of opportunity on that?
Yes, you would. It has to move out to actually hit.
Okay. So I'll give her a good swing. No, that's an 8.
Drags along the floor of the cave. 3 is going to continue its assault on Keon, and it misses as well. It kind of... Just watch the snakes kind of writhing up your legs, Keon, trying to bite at you. Lethamir over here, they're going to move up and into you, into your space. Ooh, I throw that dice across the room. And that is going to hit, I do believe. Yes, that will hit. As you take 5 piercing, con save.
Con save is 15.
Alright, you are good on that one. You only take 5 poison damage.
Ooh.
Really well on the poison damage. Alright, that'll end their turn as they are kind of just moving and writhing about. That will bring us to Chipper. Got snakes on you now.
Chipper doesn't like that, so Chipper's gonna just cast Word of Radiance to try to get these things off with.
Alright.
Nice.
Oh, for 4 damage.
Okay, a deck save, correct?
Con save,
Con save, gotcha.
14.
Alright, they fail.
Rolled shit damage, so it's only 4 damage.
Only 4 damage onto 4? Alright. You watch as a few of the snakes go flying back into the water.
I thought I was gonna roll higher than that, but no, that'll do it. That'll end my turn.
Alright, Eric, you're up.
Focus on 3. Still at advantage?
Yep.
Thank you. $17... 23.
Hits.
Does the 17 hit?
Yeah, tough.
10 damage.
Alright, is Eric finally able to cleave these snakes off of Keon, taking out the last few of them?
Alright. And then... Oh yeah, that was at advantage. These aren't humanoid, are they? Okay, so no cool effects for my sword yet. Dang, I really want to do that. Alright, I just kind of look to north and I say, cover Chipper! And then I'm going to run to attack on 2, or attack on 1.
Okay.
Do I have enough distance? Real quick here. I was here, so...
You should. You have enough distance.
Yeah.
Wherever you want, basically.
Yeah. So I can get onto the other side for flanking on 1.
Yep.
13... 13's going to be the roll.
Misses, unfortunately, as you draw it through and Lethamir. You can just feel the slight singe of a blade drawing up your leg.
End turn.
Alright. Keon, you're up, freed from the serpentine plague that has been beset upon you.
All right. Which is more damage, 1 or 4?
It would appear that 1 has less writhing bodies in the mass of its entity.
All right, then I'll go ahead and move my hex over, so a smoky tendrils surround 1, and Keon will throw forward his palm, and a firebolt will fly out of it.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 23 to hit.
It's
Okay, that's gonna be 11 points of fire damage and an additional 4 points of hex for a total of 15.
You blow it out of the water, immolate the snakes entirely.
Awesome. And that'll be my turn.
All right, Mr. North, as you watch these snakes slither away, seemingly disconcerted with you as they turn their attention to the one who blasts their brethren out of the water. What would you like to do?
I'll move forward and make an attack.
Gotcha.
That's advantage because
Yes, quite. Yes, quite.
dirty 20.
That hits.
7.
All right. She draws them up, and more snakes go scattering.
And do I have anything for bonus action? And that'll end my turn.
All right, Lathamir, you are up. Top of the order is these snakes are not as numerous as they once were.
Yeah, I'll just knock 2 arrows real quick and just fire them off at the last set of snakes.
All right.
The first attack is 21, and the second is 18, which both hit.
Mm-hmm.
First arrow doing 9 damage, second arrow doing 7 piercing.
All right. As you put them down, as they go scattering, bring us out of initiative.
Swarms of things.
Get out of the water.
That was a little bit hairy, but
Central Island.
Guys, make your
just
way up. Stepping onto the island, you can see that there is this kind of 5 foot by 5 foot square stone that kind of pokes out barely above the ground. You can see these chains attached to them appear to go into the walls on the far sides. Kind of one here, that go off in either direction and seem to disappear into the cave walls.
are these markings visible?
Oh, totally. Yeah, you can see it.
Is there any writing or any like kind of symbology that I can recognize?
As you look about, roll investigation for me.
Sure.
Can I give him guidance on that?
Yeah,
Can I assist him?
certainly.
Okay.
Good.
Guidance is 16 of 20 investigation.
20, you look around. Seems to be a sort of elven prayer of raising. Kind of a, not quite a prayer to raise one from the dead, but more one that you would say as you allowed someone to depart to the afterlife. A funerary prayer, as it were.
Sort of a sending off. Okay, Seems to be a prayer written here. Any idea on what it might be used for?
I'm a bit confused by the chains. I'm not sure. So if the chains activate, they would pull this particular stone in which direction? I guess they would.
Far as
If
you can
both
Is
of
it
them are
maybe?
pulling at the same time, it might drag it this way.
As far as you can tell, it wouldn't drag it any direction. It would actually pull it up. It's like you're trying to
Oh.
lifting it out of the ground, more so.
Ah.
Yes.
Well, maybe we try saying the prayer. So I will go ahead and solemnly intone the prayer in Elvish.
You look about it, it doesn't seem to do anything. Though you can watch
So-
the words raise that are kind of highlighted in the prayer, raise and descend, are kind of almost glimmer in the light. These bioluminescent fungi and bugs kind
okay.
of landing on them.
So then I will. I will say in Elvish then, raise,
You watch as nothing happens.
descend.
Nothing seems to happen as you watch as the chains just kind of rattle.
As everyone's focused on the stone, Where the chains meet the far walls, or where do the chain? Where's the other end of the chains? One.
Can't quite tell. It appears that they might come out on the other sides there. It's like, give me a perception or investigation, Eric, whichever's better for you.
Can I give him guidance?
Yeah, sure.
12 plus guidance is D4.
Yep.
Bumped up to 14.
As you can see, Eric, that there does appear to be like the end of a chain floating in the water to the far side. Just barely. You kind of glance over and see that it's mirrored. There are two chains kind of floating just barely in the water, looking around.
If you can mark it on the map, I'll follow the chain into the water onto, I'm assuming, the west side then.
Yes.
Don't touch the water.
Well,
Can I attempt to kind of knowing that the prayer is for like a sending off sort of a prayer? Can I attempt to do a religion check to see if I know like what sort of context or maybe what we might need to do to activate this area? 18. Religion.
18? Don't get much.
Is the chain mounted into the wall, or does it look like the chain would go into the wall further, like it's just a hole?
It seems like it goes into the wall and kind of snakes up back to the top of the cave and then drops down onto the rock, basically. Kind of secured there. So you watch the chains go up.
Do we want to try this the manual way?
by all means, let's give it a shot.
Well,
All right.
All right. I think North and I would be the obvious choices for this.
Indeed.
All right.
Certainly pray for you.
On three, my friend.
to assist.
Well, I want you guys on guard. Lord knows what we're going to be unleashing on there.
Right. Chipper, keep
Understood.
an eye out.
Okay, here's
And let the mule get up on this rock and have his bow ready.
Heon, you're in command, so feel free to override me, but my suggestion is, if we see the feather snatch and run, if we see anything else than that, we're dropping it. Any argument?
Absolutely agree. I do not argue at all.
Okay.
My hands are pretty quick. I'll stay up here by the rock.
Okay. Could I get Eric and Mr. North to give me a both athletic checks?
Athletics? Okay.
Athletics, yes.
Mr. North, you've got D4.
Thank you.
I can give it to another person. I got guidance I can give to myself. Not being a pain, but it would.
Oh, well, then I give it to Eric.
Pretty good fucking rolls to me.
Well, so far without anything, I'm at
26.
23.
Yeah.
Damn.
You're
It's a
doing pretty-
26 with a plus D4.
All right. As you guys watch, Eric and Bragganorth kind of walk over to these chains that are floating into the water. Just kind of get down and grab onto them and just hand over hand manually, one after another, rolling the exact same. So they are perfectly in sync as they are hand over hand pulling these chains. And you watch just slowly they pull this stone out of the ground. And you would watch as from that northern pit, you'd begin to see these serpentine forms kind of writhe and emerge. But Keon, as they are pulling it up and they're doing it very quickly and smoothly, you do see that there is the faint glimmer of a feather that is set into the stone. If you could give me
I will
a
try and
sleight
grab
of
it. Absolutely. 14.
You're able to, as they've been able to raise it just far enough to reach and snatch it, as you can watch these serpents begin to move out and begin to fill the cave.
Am I able to shoot these serpents before they notice me up on this rock?
You can certainly try. There's quite a few of them, as you can see what appears to be not like dozens as there were before, but hundreds.
It's more swarms. We've got to go. Grab the
We
feather
gotta
and
go.
go.
Let's run.
All right.
Got the feather.
Drop.
Let's
I'll
move.
take my 2 shots before I start running. at
Okay.
them.
Chipper doesn't bother. Chipper's.
I'm gonna
Go on.
book it.
I will. book
I
it
got
as
a
well.
25 on the first one and 6, 15 on the second. Do I get advantage? Is it a sneak attack at all, or do they know I'm there?
They're 100%.
They're well aware. Alright.
All right.
So
Good
25 and
charging.
15?
Those both would hit as you hit a few of the snakes. The damage is minuscule compared to the hundreds and hundreds.
The
of
Yes,
damage
yes,
going
yes,
out.
yes.
So
8 and
let-
6, and then I start booking it to catch up with them.
As Lethamir, with your hesitation, a few of them would catch up with you, and they would get a bite in on you.
Not a problem.
So you will take 10 piercing damage. That's it.
No, let them in.
You guys continue onward and hit that shrine again, kind of running away.
Go, 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 move, move, move.
You do that
Don't
con save?
antagonize. Don't antagonize them.
As you see, they would hit that kind of entrance area and then stop as you guys would make your way back outside.
Whew.
All right.
I was hoping to get to inspect
Nasty
around
worry.
those holes where the worms came from.
Oh.
Seems like there was.
Do you want to go
possibility of
back?
Finding some things.
No.
Oh well, I mean at this point, no. But
And this is why we bring our large friends along.
would it? Yeah, it was a truly impressive feat.
Excellent
You two
work,
were.
gentlemen.
Med
Smile
check.
Being appreciated.
How are
Yes,
we?
well done.
Would it be possible if we take a short break here just before we go to the next area?
I can stand guard.
How are we looking time-wise? Position of this, position of the moon?
Dark. It is dark,
Perhaps.
and it has been dark for a little while. It's
Okay.
approaching probably.
We left in the twilight hours.
We
You
did.
left around 7:38, so it's probably hitting about 11 now. as it just-
Okay. If it would be helpful, I have nothing against us taking a short rest.
I believe we should, if we're going to go for all 5, we should rest after the 3rd stage.
We think one more?
Well,
Yes.
some of you
And
took a
then
lot
we-
of damage with those things. Do you think you can go 2 to possibly 3 more now?
I that's an excellent point, Eric. I personally would not mind taking a rest at this point. I'm still bloodied.
I have no forms of healing, and I've taken quite a bit of damage.
Right. Let's go ahead and take a short rest then.
Through some
I
levels. Yeah, please.
I will pull out my lute and I will play us a encouraging song of rest. So anyone who is spending hit dice will get, is it a d6? Yeah, we'll also get an additional 3 points back.
Shipper didn't take any
Per
damage.
dice.
It's an extra d6 hit dice. You can
Yeah,
roll your
it's-
own and
it's
then
an
roll an extra
extra
d6
D3,
on top
yeah.
of it.
So what I'm asking is that extra 3 health? Is that per dice or just total?
No, it's total.
Total. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
1 die. Yeah, it's 1 d6.
And 6.
I will
It's
take
28. I will take.
2 hit dice myself.
I heal nothing because I took no damage.
15,
3.
15 and 3.
I'll kind of get over to north. Nice work back there.
Thank you.
I hate swarms of things.
We meat shields are good for some things after all.
Only sometimes.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you can keep stomping on snakes and pulling stones out of lakes all you want.
You're quite good at it. We
It's
definitely
It's quite
appreciate
something.
it.
You lifted that huge stone platform like it was nothing. I couldn't believe it.
Yes, it was quite impressive.
Every
Well,
once in a
I
while,
think it's
Tempest
fine,
smiles
but-
kindly upon me.
I'm
It would
trying
be
to
nothing
make-
for me as well, because nothing would happen if I'd pulled on it.
I feel that I am in the same camp.
Just smiles and says, "It's farm boy strong." That's all it is.
I suppose, technically speaking, we should at least point out we have minimum 3, but if that was just one of the trials, I would really rather have all 5 before we go, before whatever is behind that door. But I'll nod to
agree.
Gia. Thank you.
Octinal 5 is the best choice.
Yes. Alright, so once we're rested, anything occur as we rest?
watch as Maiko would kind of make his way around and seemingly take notice of the carvings now, as he would kind of sniff at them and kind of cock his head curiously. He would walk up to the door and just kind of lie down there. As you'd listen in, you could hear the faint sounds kind of going through the air. Nothing seems to disturb you. Nothing seems to happen. You guys take a rest in this formerly sanctified place, as there is that little bit of fungus creeping in as you can look around and see it kind of blighting the area.
All right. Then, towards the end of our rest, I'll examine our other roads. We went to the west and the northwest.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there are roads going to the
East and
northeast and the east?
Correct.
Okay. Then I guess we'll continue to the northeast then.
All right. You guys would step to the northeast again. You would feel that fog kind of rushing in upon you. Trees swiftly melting away, and you find yourself stepping into what appears to be another cavernous expanse. That is the wrong one.
Mori, I didn't say
And a
it.
voice from the heavens cried,
Wow.
"That is the wrong one."
You guys end up right here.
Oh, hell no.
And a plane of
If you just go into the other cave, don't mind this one.
We'll get there in good time.
You guys begin to make your way in. You can see the faint hints. Could someone roll me a survival check?
Lethamir, survive for us.
I'll give
Oh
him some
yeah,
guidance.
22.
Nice.
Lathamir, you see wolf tracks that kind of dot into the cave. Massive ones, bigger than Maiko's feet. His paws, I suppose. His foot paws. As you make your way in, kind of going further, they hit the muddy ground.
Okay. There seems to be some tracks here. What seems to be quite a large wolf that's come through here.
Big wolf tracks. Well, big wolves or not, we need the feather that's contained in here.
Yes, just before we head in, there's quite a few depictions of the wolves back at the shrine.
True.
If at all possible, I think it would be best if we try to avoid any hostility in the beginning and use it as a last resort.
You want to try to reason with it at first?
Yes, if we can
You roll the silver.
hopefully have good interaction with the wolf, it might prove much more beneficial to us than killing them.
Alright, who amongst us is best at handling wildlife? I have some small skill in it, emphasis on the small.
I am relatively okay at it.
Alright, so Lethamir will first attempt to make proper and polite contact with any wolves that we encounter. If they go hostile, then of course weapons free.
Yes. Do any of you have any food that I could offer?
Oh yes, absolutely.
I'll hand him I have a roll from the kitchen.
Donate some rations? Okay, alright.
How many would
Can I
you?
quickly try to just 2 is fine. And after getting the rations, can I quickly try to make like a chew toy? Just like take a bit of my blanket and cut it off and roll it up into like almost like a bone and wrap a bit of rope around it.
I wouldn't say so, not.
No,
I wouldn't
okay, that's fine.
condescend. Treats one thing, don't condescend to it.
As you guys
No
make
problem.
your way into
I'll
the
just take the
cave.
trees.
What is the marching orders you guys are making your way in?
I'll take point.
I'll be right behind him.
Okay.
I'll be right
I'll
third
be
then.
cool. Okay, I'll be behind Eric.
I'll be wherever I'm directed since I'm a new guy.
All right.
Take the rear. Keep an eye on our backsides, please. Oh, Chipper, where are you?
Right behind Lethamir. You guys are stepping your way forward, Chipper and Lethamir, kind of making your way in. Coming around this bend first, you can see that the cave extends in 3 directions, to the south, the north, and the east. Chipper, with your high passive perception, you can faintly make out a pair of, like, odd, not quite normal-looking blue eyes further into the cave, almost peering at you from around a corner. You can faintly hear the sound of movement, indicating that there's not one but many wolves in this small den. You can kind of see
Hold
this
on. There's some.
like
Oh, sorry.
frost emanate from the wolf that's looking at you from the far side of this hallway. See this faint kind of mist wash out. You're not able to see it, as you can't quite catch him.
Hold on. There's something down there. There's a lot of wolves.
Can you
Thank-
point them out?
Yes, come.
And can I
Well,
attempt
come
to
here
see
so I
it?
can point them out.
Yeah, you can totally point it out. It's just kind of, it's just
But-
barely kind of looking around this corner.
Do you see the eyes?
Okay, oh, yes. Yes, I see it, I see it. Hold on 1 second. And I'll take out one of the rations that I was given and I'll kneel down, placing the ration on the ground in front of me, and I'll just, gesture to it and hold my both palms up, open to it,
Okay.
signaling.
Did Chipper say anything about what she had seen?
Yeah, she pointed it
I
out.
told you all.
And you said something about the frost tendriling?
I described everything to you.
Right. Let's be careful unless this thing might even breathe frost if it gets angry.
Stood.
Oh, yes, I think.
But let's not stand in a nice cone formation for it.
Roll me animal handling with advantage, Lathamir.
Openness. Come on, big rolls,
Intelligence?
big rolls. 20. Dirty 20.
Not needed. As you watch Lathamir, as from the north, the south, and the east, these 3 wolves would emerge, all stepping out slowly from the darkness, their pale blue eyes looking at you. As they step closer, you can see that there are these massive wounds that still bleed, despite the fact that they appear much older than you'd expect. Kind of right behind the nape of the neck. You can faintly see, as they make their way up, kind of bend their heads to eat at this food that you presented to them. I would say, Chipper, you'd be able to notice this, especially since you were there the last time, your passive perception. There's a faint greenish red stone embedded in the back of their necks. It's like the tip of an arrow broken off.
When I see that there's more than one wolf that's come out, I'll take the other rations that I was given and place them on the ground as well, and kind of
I'm gonna,
look back at the party and whisper, one of you knows how to heal, correct? Maybe, these wolves look kind of injured, maybe healing them.
I can.
hang on. I have an idea based on what I've just seen.
Have Mage Hand remove those arrows?
What were you
Here,
going to
hang
say,
on.
Chipper?
Let me try something very quickly. I'm gonna take a dinner roll out of my that I grabbed from the kitchen on the way out here, and hold it out to the wolf that I saw the arrowhead and broken off in an attempt to feed it the roll with one hand and remove the arrowhead with the other.
Hey, give me an animal handling just straight because of what you're doing.
Come on,
Would I be
animal
able to
hand.
assist him in this if I'm close?
Yeah, certainly. Could maybe try and give it a little calming presence.
Good, because yeah, good. 21.
21. As you are able to kind of hold out the dinner roll, you take that arrowhead in your fingers and pull it. And you look down as you pull it out, and you hear this. Watch as the wolf hits the ground. You watch it slowly seems to recede as it goes from this massive figure, this imposing wolf that is bigger than any you've ever seen, and slowly, it returns to a wolf that is about normal size. You kind of look down, and you can see the broken off. It's obviously been jammed in there for a while, right? It's kind of receding
enchantment.
its edge, as it appears to be very similar to that arrowhead you had taken from the shrine.
Right.
They're
So do the
under
other wolves also have these arrows sticking in the back of their neck?
Wolves.
Yes, they do, as they appear to step back a little bit, having seen that. Don't quite turn hostile, but step away from you.
I'm
I would
willing.
kind of gesture my hand out, like allowing them to come and sniff it, like trying to, yeah, seeing if they'll come close.
Give me one more animal handling. Let's see what they do.
Sure. Is that a flat roll?
Guidance.
You can guidance.
Guidance is not gonna help, sadly. That is an 11.
As seeing this, they would not turn hostile, but they would turn and dart back into the cave. They would run away.
Seems as though they don't wish to have the arrows taken out.
Yeah, I think they're just frightened of the experience. I think it's the right thing to do.
I think they're cursed. They're
They
bound
are.
to this plane of existence by these objects embedded in their necks. We should
Ah.
free their souls.
Well, certainly, these are the former lead wolves who had the magical arrows shot into them to make them grow to this enormous size. Which is why one reverted when we were able to take the arrowhead out. So, if we can coax each of the remaining two, who else has the ability to work with animals? Who could assist Lethamar? Does anyone else other than me have any skill with animals?
I have some skill with animals.
Okay.
Step right up.
All right, then, Chipper, if you will give some guidance to Lethamir, and North, if you will aid him, as we try and now the ones to the north and the south will likely be skittish, so it'll be more challenging. But let's try and do a repeat of that, and pull the see if we can offer food while removing the arrowhead.
Or before we go, would it not be?
Can I ask?
Are we able to heal this wolf to show them that we're not here to hurt them? If we have this wolf walking alongside us,
We can certainly try.
unharmed.
Do we?
I thought the wolf had already gone away. I'm sorry.
I thought
That
so too.
wolf had actually, it's fallen to the ground and it is not moving. It appears to be dead.
Ah, okay.
That's
So I'd be able to cast, go up and, well, I don't know. Would you guys want me to cast?
Maybe.
If
do we
I
wanna use
may,
magic knot or maybe a health potion.
if I may,
Can you spare the dying?
Yes, if you may.
Okay, hang on. I can just bonus
To our-
action spare the drying as a cantrip. So I'll cast it on the wolf.
Okay.
Do you
I
walk
was gonna
up,
say,
to
touch it, Chipper? Try and reach out with Spare the Dying. This wolf has been gone for a very long time. Nothing to help there.
But I think whoever said it before was correct. That the best we can do is give them peace at this point.
help.
I said that.
Yes. Yes, I think Chipper is right.
I think we need to get the other two. We should coax them towards us, then remove the shard from their neck, ending their cursed existence.
And I agree. And to help with that, and I'm going to look at our bard. Do you know any songs of the old adage of music soothing the savage beast? Methinks
Indeed.
the acoustic in the caves might assist.
I also have more wolves.
We can certainly try. So I'll pull out my lute and begin singing a song of the wilds, and as I do so, I'm also going to incorporate a verse about Lethamir the Bold, the friend of the wolves, and give him a bardic inspiration as I do so.
Oh,
Okay. Alright, I like
the
it.
D8, correct?
Nah, D6 for now.
Oh, D6. Okay.
Yeah. I'm only a 3rd level bard.
Oh, okay.
Alright. Could I get Lethamir and Brackennorth to roll me animal handling checks? You can, Lethamir has the inspiration, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brackennorth, I believe you're getting the guidance.
I'll give you, yeah. Or we can give them both guidance.
Boom.
That is not pretty.
That is a 26.
26.
Or 7.
7.
Seven.
Watch one more of the wolves would come from the north towards Lethamir. Kind of lean his head down. The other one would look curiously out from the south, but not approach. Actually, you were offering food, correct?
Mhm.
You can roll advantage. Brackennorth, you can roll advantage. You're offering food as well.
Alrighty.
It'd be an 18.
With
18, yeah.
with this one that's approached Lethamir, he'll kind of scratch it and put his hand under the chin of it and kind of tilt its head up and look it directly into the eyes as he removes the arrowhead from behind the neck.
As it drops. This other
And
one.
pats it on the head as it drops.
This other one slowly making its way up, startled by the sight of the other one dropping, and kind of lets out a low whine before it makes its way up to Brackennorth and kind of just looked at him curiously.
Oh, it's okay.
Get down lower than what it is since our other friend is dealing with him, and I'll try to get his attention, like to where he focuses on me submitting myself to him.
Okay. He will look back at you and just kind of tilt his head curiously. You see a little bit of fear as he kind of steps back a little bit, just slightly retreats.
And I'll sing a verse about Brackenor, the friend of the furry, and also give him a bardic inspiration of a d6.
Alright, give me one more animal handling, Mr. Brackennorth.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
The wolf will step forward and just kind of seemingly looking at its other companions, seeing the arrowheads on the ground. It'll kind of put its head into your hand as though offering itself to you.
And I'll gently scratch, looking into his eyes, and slowly remove the arrowhead.
Watch as you pull it out. The wolf would slowly shrink back to its normal size. The fur would go from white to black. That faint eminence would fade off of it. It would fall. You no longer hear wolves skittering about in the cave.
Let's proceed with caution, gentlemen.
Nice work, gentlemen.
Let's
Shall we move forward?
I'll resume
think we
my
should.
post at the end of the line here to watch the back and let everybody move forward. Ask me.
give
And-
this place a
and-
thorough look.
There not hearing any other wolves, I'm going to just go ahead and cast Dancing Lights and send out 4 globules of light around us to help us search things out.
Oh yes, I like that spell. I'm gonna do the same thing.
Okay.
Indeed.
As you guys have cleared the area and you begin to search the room, stepping over, you would see not a couple more wolves, skeletons of them that lie there, but dozens. This appears to be the place that they come once their tenure is finished. Kind of step your way through over the skeletons, the wolves that lie here resting. You can see claw markings, you can see carvings that seem to indicate that they weren't always the only ones here. Faint scripts of Elvish, giving names to some of these individuals, to some of these wolves.
Anything that can be discerned.
You too, as you kind of look at it, you can make out the name Myko does repeat once or twice. There are other ones that are kind of scattered about, Wolfir and Nofran, but Myko also repeated. You make your way through, you would eventually find, sitting in the back of the cave, surrounded by what appear to be skeletons of these wolves who might have taken vigil back beside him, one of the feathers, sitting just in the middle of a circle of stones. Or
Is this
bone.
the northern one or the southern one?
Be the northern one.
Okay. Can I kind of like inspect around it, like not just the fur, like all the skeletons? Like, is that, for example, on the picture, is that bag there?
The bag there. No, it is simply bare.
Okay, okay. There's nothing around.
Right, I will go ahead and collect the feather.
I got a 20 for investigation.
20 investigation, you kind of look about, and nothing much here, Lethamir. Bones, bones, more bones. Scattered pieces of former pack leaders.
No dog tags or anything.
No.
Okay.
Wolf tags. Wolf tags.
Yes.
Boom.
So you guys can collect your feather. Just kind of, once you feel satisfied, can return to the shrine.
Alright.
Did we see the southern circle?
You would have, if you had explored the southern area, it's entirely up to you. You wouldn't have found much, just more bones.
Okay, nothing to find there. Okay.
Make your way back to the southern circle, leaving you at just the eastern path now, as Maiko lies there.
Alright, we've collected an additional feather, so one more to go then. Shall we head to the east?
It's like a plan.
Yes, let's.
Well, let's do so.
I have a quick question about those arrows. Did they disappear as well with the wolves, or
They
did...
would have,
Okay.
as you kind of picked them out and held them for just a moment, they would have shown, and then almost when the wolves returned to their original state, they would have dissolved in your hand, kind of turning to ash.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yes, they seem to have lost their
Thanos snapped.
Yes. So you guys make your way on the eastern path. You would see and hear the faint sound of waves lapping against a shore as you'd step out of the forest, kind of through the fog. You'd see a coastline stretched out before you, the fog encroaching on either side to the east and west, maybe about 100 feet, leaving you with this expanse of turquoise blue that extends out before you. You could see out towards into the lake, there is a rowboat that kind of bobs lightly in the waves. You can see a couple of other boats that are beached against the shore, and there is a faint glow that emanates from the water about 80 feet out.
About 80 feet.
Well, I believe I see our
Particular
last feather.
point? Is it by that rowboat? Okay.
Right here.
Alright, it's about right there. Alright. Well, looks like we may well have a feather in the water then.
What's the Nordsman see on this?
See simple rowboat. You could use as launches, probably from normal sailing ships. The water is cold. You don't see too much in terms of like currents of the water. Is it just simple lapping waves? Don't see a riptide evident or anything along those lines.
Ah. Terrifyingly enough, I seem to have acquired armor that seems to be perfect for this exact situation.
Ah. Right, and we have
well-
our Mariner with us as well.
I will.
So, yeah, Eric, boat. Direct us.
I was going to say, I have no qualms with the water, regardless of what may lie beneath. I absolutely volunteer to go out. Which of the 3 rowboats looks to be the most seaworthy? I'd be looking for damaged leaks, etc.
Well, investigation with advantage because you know about boats.
And also guidance.
God bless your guidance.
Mm-hmm. It's a useful cantrip.
16 plus... Gonna bump that up to 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Eric, it looks like the first 2, kind of the ones that you're walking up on, look like they're fine. The one to the far north seems to have some minor cracks in it. You think that it would hold up, but if something were to like hit the bottom of it, then it would probably break inward, and then that would be an issue. But the first 2 immediately look fine.
I'd not bet my life on that third. Leave it be.
Right.
Grab its all just in case. I'd rather have an extra than not at all.
Lethamir, when you say you have the right armor for this, what exactly do you mean?
Oh,
Does your armor
I
give you the ability to swim or breathe?
yes, yes. Mariner's armor, I believe it's called,
Ah.
and he gestures to the half plate that he's currently wearing.
Excellent. What
That's-
size? How many people can the rowboat accommodate?
It looks like it would be a stretch to fit all 5 of you into one of the rowboats. It'd probably be best to do like a 2 and 3 situation.
I would have no issue staying here on the shore. If
I would
anything,
I would also like to stay on the shore with
if
my,
anything pops
heavy
up,
armor.
or if that other rowboat is troublesome in any way, I think I have the range to be able to at least use some spellfire against it.
If I may,
Please.
I recommend myself and Lethamir in rowboat 1, which we'll just call it the easternmost boat.
Yes.
I'd love to have North and that strong back on rowboat
Yeah.
2. In the event one boat goes down, the 3 of us have a spare boat, or vice versa.
And then Chipper and I can cover you from the shore with fire.
Exactly.
I
Excellent.
would happily pray for you from the shore. Yes.
I like
North
it.
North will go and grab the extra oar and get ready to do as he was told.
All right.
Heavy armor and boats don't mix.
You guys are able to push the boats into the water. You don't need to make any checks to get out to the spot proper right now. You can both eventually row your ways out. Eric and Lethamir back north. You're slowly making your way over until you circle about the area of this boat. Kind of looking down into the water, you can faintly see the feather just floating there. Looks to be about probably 50 to 60 feet underwater before you'd hit the bottom. And you can't see through the murk and the mire that makes up the rest of the water. This faint kind of fog that rolls in around you as well.
You are. Lethamir will look to Eric and ask, "Do you have any rope on you?"
Absolutely. I was gonna.
As Lethamir would have headed out, Keon would have connected with him telepathically before he leaves his 60-foot area.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, that armor that you've got on there would let you swim faster than I. I would recommend
would
you.
like to have a way out.
Yes, no. You're not going down without yourself being tied off to me. However, I
Sounds
do
like
think
a
you
plan.
getting down and up faster would be the better advantage.
Lethamir, once you get close, do you see anything in that other boat that's out there?
Hold on 1 second, Eric. Can you get us a bit closer to that boat? We'll see if there's anything inside of it.
I'll take us to
Just
about.
before we commit to anything.
I'll take us to within 15 feet of the feather square so far.
And I'm gonna ready a firebolt just in case I see anything dangerous looking from that boat that's sitting out there.
You don't immediately notice anything dangerous looking from that boat as you're kind of staring outward. Lethamir, as you're getting close, you make a perception check, see if you notice anything in that.
Short thing.
Let's see.
That is. I still have my bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
That is an 11.
As you do not notice anything from this distance.
Do I notice anything about that boat?
Your experience, Eric, you can see that there's a noticeable kind of buildup on the hull, right? As it's been out in the water for a good amount of time, you could reckon. All right, there's a little bit of buildup of algae and things of that nature, but there's nothing immediately telling you that it's been damaged. As it's still floating fine, kind of bobbing lightly in the waves.
That boat's been anchored quite some time. Still don't have a good feeling about it. But it's nothing that's been in place recently. At some point, we're going to have to get into the drink here.
Well, do you want to get right over the... where we can see the
I
feather?
suggest North stay where he is. You and I approach.
Sounds like a plan. And
North.
as Eric...
Use your senses. You see trouble come.
As Eric is getting us in position, I'll pull out my 50 foot of hempen rope and I'll tie it around my waist as best I can.
Alright.
I'm
Aye.
ready my javelins, just in case beside me.
Good choice.
Alright, you heading down into the water now, Lethamir?
Before I do that, I'll hand the other end of my rope over to Eric and I'll say, it's only 50 feet, so maybe tie another bit of rope onto this.
I'll tie it
just
to
make
mine.
Sure that it...
I'll tie it to mine, and I'll tie that around my waist as well, so wherever the hell you go, you're taking me with you.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Agreed. Alright, we
I'll
can't
ask if
do
they
much
wanna
more.
Tie off to me.
Okay.
I
Got
would
an extra-
keep a rope at the ready. Do you have anything like a grappling hook on anything that would make it easier to throw?
Nope, just my javelin.
Okay, we're gonna row past. I'm gonna give him my grappling hook. I want that back.
Sure.
Alright, that way it's easier for you to reach it out to me when you need to be. Alright.
Alrighty.
Last chance, you
On my
sure?
position.
Alright.
Yeah. I'll do the little scuba dive, the drop backwards, and start swimming down towards it. I have 30 feet of swim speed.
Excellent.
Alright, Lethamir. As you feel the familiar pull of water around you, feel it go over your head. Hold your breath. There's that moment of panic. It's the last time you were underwater. It was definitely not a pleasant experience for you.
Yep.
As you begin to kind of right yourself and look downward, begin to kick, moving towards the feather, feeling the rope extend back towards your friends on the surface.
I'm keeping a keen eye on.
You know what? Before we go any further, for a bit of fun, I'm going to do a wisdom check and see if I go into a panic. 13. It's up to you what you want to decide what the DC is.
I'd say it's 50-50.
Alright. So I would have made it then.
Kick downward and kind of feel that pulling at you. Take it off. You go further and further down into the water, feeling the rope trail behind you. You can look back up and see Eric on the edge of the boat, kind of holding onto the rope.
Very deadly.
Yeah.
You've got this, Lethamir.
As you get close, just a few feet above the feather now, and reach outward. Feel your finger wrap around it. And that kind of light emanates outward. In Lethamir, you very quickly feel as a hand reaches and grabs onto your wrist as you find your eyes raising and meeting what looks to be another Moon Elf, decayed, and is staring blankly back at you. The skin far too pale even for your people. I should make an athletics check.
So is this athletics check to try and get away from it?
Yes.
Can I choose not to? And can I reach my other hand out and kind of like grab it from the like opposite hand, like under the armpit, and try to lift it out or lift it up from wherever it is
Alright.
and get a better look at it?
As you do that, Lethamir, you feel hands grabbing you, shoulder, under your arm, around your waist, at your leg. You feel a tug on the rope, Eric, very hard around your waist. And it's one after another, multiple tugs. Can you make me a strength save?
I will, when I notice all of these hands grabbing onto me,
21.
I'll telepathically say to Keon, I'm being grabbed onto by Moon Elves.
He's
They're
being
dragging me under.
grabbed! Pull him up!
As
I'll,
Eric,
I'll yell to the two in the boat.
Eric, you can feel this oof, tug at your waist and look down. You can see now that you're kind of staring down into the drink, feeling this pull. These multiple shadowy figures emerging from the murk.
I'll call North! Assist Eric! And if I see anything shadowy, I'm gonna fucking firebolt it.
Alright, nothing seems to be emerging quite yet as Lethamir is still down there. Lethamir, feeling yourself being dragged down, you're gonna feel this as these hands would begin to claw at you. they're going to make a few attacks.
Are these real bodies, or are these like almost spirits?
It is hard to tell in your current state.
At the second that would have jerked on my waist, I would have began pulling up.
All right, give me an athletics check, Eric, because you can feel these hands grabbing at you, Lethamir, and kind of just digging in as you take 7 slashing damage.
Ah, crud, 9.
Okay, no problem.
As Eric, you kind of grab on and you begin to pull hand over hand, reaching down and trying to just drag Lethamir out of the dark. And you can just, as it is rough going.
I pull a shout out that he's being attacked.
All right, North, you want to go over and help?
Yeah, I'll roll closer, as close as I can get to the boat. Both boats.
As Lethamir, you're still down there, feeling these hands just grabbing at you. You feel one attempts to just force your mouth open. In essence, kind of like reaches up and tries to force its way into your mouth. Could you make me a athletics or acrobatics attempting to resist it?
Athletics or acrobatics? Okay. The attempt is quite terrible. That is a 9.
Okay, so he rolls a little bit worse as you can feel it kind of grab at your face and you're kind of able to resist and push it away as 2 more of these guys will drag their fingers into you and you will take 5 more slashing damage. Could I get the boys on the boat to roll another athletics check if you'd like to try and help him back out?
Slashing.
15 or 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
13.
13 with your combined, you're up to hand over hand, just begin to drag as Lethamir. You can feel these hands still grabbing onto you and pulling as you're being just slowly raised from the depths. As you guys are pulling him up, looking over, you can see that a few of these bodies still cling onto him. And as they pull him out, Keon, at this point, you could see these pale and decrepit corpses clinging to Lethamir, and you could let a shot go.
All right. That's gonna be a... Ah, shit. It goes wide, with an 8.
Question, DM. How far out in the lake are they?
They'd be about 80 feet.
Yep.
Okay.
I would like to channel my divinity and use Conquering Presence, and as I do, I clench my right forearm and bicep together.
Okay.
Wisdom saving throw of DC 10, or they become frightened for a minute.
As they...
Now that we're kind of closer to light, can I tell if they're like spectral or real or...
As you're being pulled up and you can see the bodies clinging to you in the air of the night off the lake, they do look much more spectral than anything. Then there's as that radiant light of Celestian washes out from Brackenorth and hits these spectral figures that are clinging to Lethamir, you can see they all recoil away and slip back into the water. As you pull them up and over and into the boat, you can watch though, as these things are beginning to kind of just push against your boats. At this point, I need you guys to make an athletics check, try and get back to the shore.
Actually, I'd like to suggest a plan. I order Lethamir into North's boat.
Okay.
I take and I'm going to do this obviously quicker, but I'm saying this piece by piece in case you want rolls. I order Lethamir into North's boat. I take a flask of oil. I break it into my boat. I hop into North's boat.
Give me athletics as you try to transfer boats. As you kind of throw Lethamir over, but you physically leaping over at this point.
That's fine.
They're going to try and snatch it.
16.
16, you manage to just leap over, and a couple of these hands reach out and try and grab you back into the water, Eric. But you're able to leap across and land in the boat, rocking as you do, but not quite spilling.
And Lethamir and is in the... We're all 3 in North's boat?
You're all 3 in North's boat.
I firebolt the flask of oil in my boat as a distraction.
Roll to hit.
Stupid clear hole. 6.
It catches, but there's still that kind of intermittent spark as it takes it a moment to light up. and you watch as a few of these figures begin to pursue your boat. As a few of them are attracted to the light source. You guys on the shore can just watch this all go on in about a second.
Can I be Eldritch blasting some of these
Oh,
things?
Lathamir, what's going on?
As you guys would watch, they begin to row back to shore, and a few of them would be pursuing, kind of hitting against the boat. And I need you guys to make me strength saves. First, Chipper and Keo, anything you would like to do from the before that, and before any of this.
Can,
Well, I rolled a net. I rolled for that Eldritch blast. It was a nat 20.
can I shocking grasp at the ones that are trying to attack the boat?
1 second.
Sorry.
Yeah.
If I see anything pursuing the boat, I'm gonna try and shoot a chromatic orb at it.
Let's see it. As Chipper, you hold your hand out, the Eldritch Blast sings forward and poof, slams into one of them and sends it back beneath the waves as there's not as many pursuing now.
Well, I want to keep doing that. It's an action per.
What's another?
Am I able to shocking grasp?
What's that? Chipper, give me your second Eldritch Blast. Keon, give me your chromatic.
Okay.
24 and 7 damage.
Alright. Sends another one back beneath the waves. Keon?
An 11. So I
11.
send a lightning chromatic orb out, and I doubt it hits anything.
It hits the water and it kind of arcs backwards as you hit it far and wide. And it might catch one of them, but it's a little bit far, you know. It's like that little bit of a shock.
Yep.
Now you can do your shocking grasp. I need the two of you, Brackenworth and Eric, to row. Give me athletics.
23 to hit, which I assume hits, and then
Crit.
6.
Reach down and
9.
just grasp onto the body.
I'll use guidance on myself.
Watch this.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
11.
As with your combined with Eric's crit, able
25.
to go back forward, just hoof it back towards the boat or towards the shore. You can watch as there are like 1 or 2 more of these guys just pushing on you, and I need all of you in the boat to make me dexterity saving throws. They attempt to spill you.
Dex. Oh.
Ooh.
5.
Come on.
Oh, wow. 18.
24.
18.
5.
5.
Yeah.
Nat 20 for 24.
Nat 20. As because of the interjection of your friends from the shore making this such a small pursuing party, all of you are able to stay in the boat. As you can feel this rocking, able to just row back. You'd watch as the specters would slowly move away as you leave with the feather, returning to the shore.
And I let out a Viking yell of satisfaction.
Thinking back to it, do I recognize any of the faces that were trying to grab me?
You don't know. They're all blurry. They're all decayed and waterlogged and didn't look like anyone you knew.
Almost seems like it's similar to what happened to me and my people, but like from an earlier group. Is that the sense I get?
It looks like it's exactly what happened to you and your people.
Just a different group of people.
Perhaps, yeah.
Like, yeah, just like, yeah, that's what I mean, like an earlier group from before us.
Maybe.
Okay.
Hard to tell. You guys hit the shore. You see them kind of all spill out of the boat. Lethamir with feather clutched in his hand. Still having bruises and scratches down his side where these bodies attempted to grab onto him.
How damaged are you, Lathamir? Are you all right?
I'll be fine for now.
Okay. Let me know if you need any healing.
Will do, thank you.
I look over to him. Well done.
Well done. Well done, all of you. That was tremendous.
Looks at everybody and goes, "Let's do that again." In a very sarcastic manner.
Let's actually get these feathers back to the shrine.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, sir.
And that's the last
Right.
one, right? So we should get safe passage
It
now.
is indeed. We have 5.
Somehow I feel safe will be a relative term.
I think Eric is correct.
Well, we'll see.
You guys make your
Couldn't hurt.
approach, feathers in hand.
Okay. I'll pull out my 2 feathers, yes.
They will fade.
And Lathamir has 2.
The 2 that you have, Keon, will sink into the stone and make those indentations.
Mm-hmm.
Lethamir, as you watch the door slowly just sink into the ground open, your feathers will fade in your hand and go outward, almost just creating a trail of dust leading you into this place. And I will
Follow the trail of dust.
I'll look back for Maiko, kind of call him forward to let him know that we're moving forward.
Let me grab my ghost token. As having 1,500 or so tokens in my owlbear makes it quite slow sometimes.
Trying to find the right one.
I have search function. It's just still quite a pain, as it sometimes just glitches out on me, as it just did. You couldn't tell.
Oh, how beautiful.
Is the music still good? Because I saw it kind of disconnect me for a second. Okay.
Oh, hold on, I have it muted.
As you guys make your way in, you would see splayed out before you this massive shrine area, a waterfall on the far side, sending out this beautiful cascading sound, a river that runs through and almost disappears into the area that you've just come from. As you can see, it kind of hits a wall. You've effectively taken a trail and it goes underground. Probably feeds into that lake you just came from. You see a cave on the far northern area, from which slowly you would see the dust would kind of gather about these faint wisps you see in the air. And the head would come first. Blue eyes piercing, a massive feathered form as it steps out, kind of spreads its wings, easily spanning to here on either side, about 30 feet. Sends them outward, where it kind of looks, observes all of you that have stepped forward into the shrine. Maiko kind of staying close to you. Big cock.
When Lathamir sees it, he'll drop to a knee, like lower his head.
Eric follows suit.
I'll pull out the grasp of the Earth Mother, but hold it reverse grip.
North will kneel, seeing everybody else kneel, and he'll whisper, "That's a big fella."
Chip will kind of glance around confusedly and just kneel because everybody else is kneeling.
As you'll hear through this shrine area, almost carried on the wind as it swirls about around you. This. The voice not quite solidifying or coming from one place, as it feels it almost kind of brushes across through your ears. Doesn't quite settle.
And I'll call out in Elvish, "We seek the fletching of the arrow."
It seems to observe the dust flittering in the air. Roll me a persuasion check here.
Sure.
Any chance on guidance?
Not without it you.
It's a 24.
24.
No, it's
You reach out, kind of call back Keon. The voice echoes again. You have proven yourself. Go far. Test of strength is often required. He just kind of waits, kind of cocks its head curiously at you. Guaranteed safety from death, but from this test seems to hesitate.
If a further test is required, then we will take it.
I want to look over at Keon real quick. How's he look?
I'm looking pretty well.
Okay.
Call that out, Keon. Can you roll me another persuasion check?
All right, D&D and Beyond is wrong, so that's going to be a 10, so it'll be a 19.
19. Confidence. stands, ruffles its wings, looks at Maiko. Oh, did you bring a new alpha with you?
We do indeed.
Why do you seek this fletching?
Because we seek to turn back the tide of evil that has attacked the Moon Elves and has destroyed their people. We seek vengeance upon the wrongs dealt upon them.
Let me persuasion at advantage.
Okay. It's 27.
Nice.
Tempest shine your mind.
This is why I let him talk.
Mm-hmm.
Let the eloquence part talk, people.
Yep.
As you guys would watch, the bird would take wing and fly outward. You watch as the massive wings spread for just a moment as it moves with a lightning quickness like which none of you have ever seen before. Where it lands in front of you. There's a slight shake to the ground as it does. As it gets closer, you can see that like the dryad outside and like a little bit of the shrine, there are these tendrils of inky black blight that eat away at its form. It would approach, kind of look each of you over individually. A slight eminence of frost would wash out from the nose. And it would. Vengeance. You wish to turn the tide of the evil that has come here.
Indeed. We wish to purify the land and give the Earth Mother her due.
You have any proof that you are capable of
We have-
completing these trials?
We have this arrowhead, which we received from the former shrine that was cleansed. I have this sword, which the Earth Mother has granted me to aid in this quest. And we have our brother Wolf, who has been sent to guide us here.
Watch as the winged creature would observe all of you. Look to Kion, the blade, the arrowhead in your hand. Let the pack rise once more. As it bows its head to you, it kind of offers the feathers. As you can see, there are 3 that kind of just stick out. Somewhat crystalline, but more obviously physical than the last ones.
I will pluck the 3 feathers, and I will respond. Indeed, may the pack rise. We thank you for your gift and your power to enable the rise of the pack.
It looks towards Maiko. One can only hope this one is worthy. As Maiko kind of steps away, shies away for a moment.
This one is a powerful friend of my friend, and I have every confidence that he will rise to the challenge which befalls him.
Good. Then go now.
Lathamir would take a step forward before we leave.
Okay.
I see that you are infected by the blight upon this land. And he'll pull out the seed from the dryad from earlier. We ran into the dryad. Her tree had fallen.
Ivy.
Yes, Ivy
name
was her
was-
name. We promised to bring her to somewhere more healthy, safer, somewhere where she can reach the Earth Mother again. I know of a spring, or sorry, a moon well, I believe you call it by another name, off to the northwest of here. that is currently under control by the moon. The Earth Mother.
Wellspring of power.
If I mean, would you like to go there?
Guardians remain here. Guard what remains of this shrine as it looks about. Though perhaps I could deliver this lost one to the Earth Mother. As it reaches forward and kind of extends its talons to you.
Yes, please do. And I'll hand the seed over to the talons.
And it kind of
North.
bows its head respectfully. Sorry, North? Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, North, seeing the Blythe, would ask if he could lay his hands upon to heal, and I don't know if it'll work or not, but I can cure disease or neutralize a poisoning effect.
Sure, give it a go, as it will kind of...
What kind of roll do you want me to make? Because it's just a divine attempt.
Yeah, just reach out, see what you can do. Roll me a D100.
Alrighty.
Roll no by me.
12.
12?
Yeah.
Want to do 100?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You reach forward. You kind of pull into that divine wellspring of power of Celestian. Look up and you can see, faintly flittering through the canopy here, as you've effectively stepped into the giant hollow of a tree, it looks like. You can see the stars playing out before you, and they glimmer for just a moment as you reach out and you touch this bird. Lay your hand upon it and try and pump that divine energy through. You watch as the tendrils that go up the neck and towards the mouth, kind of around the eyes, recede slowly, almost melting away and kind of forming this thick, black, viscous slime almost that drops to the ground and sinks into it in moments, almost bubbling as the aura of Celestian washes through. The bird kind of looks at you. Thank you.
I can give it one more go if you want. I have no problem.
I feel better.
Bow my head and back away.
For this. Thanks. It will move and go back into that cave. You watch it takes wing for just a moment before it will return with what appears to be a small, it looks to be a ring of sorts. It's kind of carved out of stone or crystal that it extends out to you, Brackenorth.
I'll lift my hand and allow it to place it there and say thank you, but no, this is not necessary.
It is it not? You have done a good service to me. It
Thank you.
returns. Go now. This place is becoming more and more blighted by the day. So it seems to move back towards that fountain area.
We shall turn and head the other direction.
All right. As you guys would make your way, leaving the shrine, Micah would kind of look back, watching as the door would slowly rise again. You'd watch as the energy from the feathers would glow for just a moment, and boom, as they would seem to dissipate. It seems to open and close the door for just a short period of time. Scattering about.
I know he's not going to respond to me, but I'll actually say to Micah, I don't think you're going to be, this is your last trip here. Methinks you'll be coming back sometime.
Micah seems to almost understandingly see hears. As you guys would make your way out past the shrine, walking back through that stone path and out where you had met Esmeralda before, you would see that there is apparently tied to a post of that fence that she had been leaning against earlier is a small bag.
We'll check the bag.
It appears to be filled with gold.
Oh. We shall untie the bag and bring it with us.
Coming.
Your trip back to the fort would be uneventful, quiet as you walk through the night. There's a stillness and a peacefulness to the forest that is different. There's usually that kind of apprehension, waiting for something to jump out, something to attack you, something to set itself upon you. But no, nothing here. Just the faint sound of the chittering of insects, animals in the underbrush, and eventually the raucous of Fort View. You guys would make your way back here.
I've made it back.
You open the gate!
Now we know we're back.
Home sweet home.
Indeed. Once Private Fuck Up yells, we know we're safe.
Right. Never heard such a comforting bellow.
Indeed.
Make it in. Micah would again sprint across the yard to Jericho. Would almost be tackled by his companion before he kind of looks up, sees you all approaching, and smiles a little bit. He stands. I hope this means good news. Yes?
It does indeed mean good news. And I'll hold up the 3 feathers that we received from the large critter,
I see.
guardian of the skies.
Very good.
And we also encountered your sister, who sends the message to you that she is fine.
He seems to enjoy that one. She kind of glances towards Eric, who he knew had gone to the last mission where they had found a note from her.
I smile and nod.
It is one of her favorites. She likes to assure me that she is more than capable of handling herself without me. I cannot help but worry. He reaches down and... Keon, can you make me an insight check?
Natural 1
Oh,
or 3.
You don't notice anything. Jericho reaches down and kind of scratches Micah gently behind the ears. You can hold on to the recovered item, as you did for the last one, yes. I believe there is only one more to go, and that'll be it.
Yes.
Is there anything else that I need to know? I imagine you'll be making a report to your command, but he smiles a little bit. They don't seem as interested in the stealing as you are.
Well, it is your cause is our cause, and I, in particular, have taken an interest in making sure that your cause is seen through.
Thank you. He looks about. And thank you, Prince, as he looks to Eric and Brackenhart. You had not embarked upon this journey previously, did not know what you were getting yourselves into. I greatly appreciate you going out with these others to assist my people.
My shield is always yours.
Thank you.
No problem, sir. I'm doing as I'm told by Celestian.
I see. He kind of glances towards the command tent knowingly. Alright. That is the
Before
key.
you head off, and Lethamy will stand up and walk over to him. You spoke about finding it difficult to raise a reward for these missions, so please allow me to help. And he'll hand over a bag of 500 gold.
Son.
Your sister left this bag as well. And
You see that bag would have about 300 in it. Jericho will take it. And he'll kind of pour it all into one bag and hold it out to Keon. Repeat this, yes.
Very well.
He'll look to Lethamir and thank you.
I definitely need some.
And so I'll go ahead and distribute evenly what is in the consolidated bag.
Piece 160 each.
Great.
Nice.
Gold total.
I look forward to collecting the third piece.
Yes, I'll
Yes.
have to do some looking into where to attain the last one, and then we will. I'll let you know as soon as I do.
Excellent. We will be prepared to set out as soon as you can give us information about the third.
Thank you again. Come, Michael. Click this time, and Michael goes off into the grove. Jericho.
Okay, I was going to try and get a word with Jericho. Okay.
What was it? Oh, you wanted to get a word with him?
Possibly.
It's quick to leave. You gotta be.
Yeah.
Very skittish.
I'll try to snag him around the corner. I don't have a claim to understand all of your world, but with few bits I did catch. The Guardian of the Skies did advise that your companion has been selected to be the new Alpha. If you did not know already, that seemed to be something that you should be aware of.
Jericho kind of glances back at you over his shoulder, Eric, and no insight check required. As you can see, he kind of grits his teeth and his fingers dig into the side of the shop where he had put his hand on it for just a moment. I know.
If I can be of assistance in anything, I'll partner with you, Keon, whomever as you wish, so.
He'll nod.
I'll let him go. I'm not going to drag that out.
He would actually look back at you, Eric. If you could make his last days good. Help me with that. I would appreciate it.
'Twould be an honor, so.
Then he would step away. That's where we will end the session once you guys finish that up.
I'm done.
Alright.
Sorry to make it a downer.
Not at all.
Well, it was successful. Like, Micah's gonna transcend. I said maybe.
Bit of a miscommunication, but that 500 gold was meant to be for the next mission, but that's fine.
Oh, okay.
That was the
Oh, I
purpose of
thought
that,
you
but it's
were.
okay.
I thought you were giving it for us to split it for us. Like,
It was meant to be for like, because he's like, oh, we don't really have money, so I was like, here's money so you can pay for the next one.
fuck
But
yeah,
that's
money
fine.
to
Doesn't matter.
money to pay mercenaries, so we don't have to roll for long rest.
You know what?
Shit.
Jericho will figure something out for the last one. He wasn't.
But we've had some pretty successful missions so like lately, so DC shouldn't be above 5 anytime soon. I hope.
Eric's far less worried about paychecks.
Yeah, I gotta work in exactly 5.5 hours, so I'm going to get off and go to sleep. Y'all take it easy. It was great playing with you.